Live.
We're live. Great,
Hello.
great. Kingdom, how are we doing, boy?
Oh, we're all right. We're all right. Yeah, we're decent. We're looking forward to some good action on Speedway. So
Obviously, as we always are.
How are you, mate? You good?
Dennis is in. So he's actually in the green room. I
sorry.
didn't think he was going to jump in this early, but fair play. Let's get him in for a quick chat, I reckon. Yo!
Yo!
How's it going?
How's things? All good?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. All ready for Voyens this weekend.
Yeah, the fun of Voyens, eh?
Mate, I mean, it's thing is the city there's booming, the nightlife's good, plenty of bars. Do you miss going to Voyens?
To be honest, I've only been once, which was the Speedway Nations year, I think, where Ty had his cycling accident. So I've been to probably better stadiums and better events in Denmark. I'm not always a fan of. I mean, the promotion there is really good, like what the Olsen family have done to kind of bring Danish Speedway to what it has at Voyens. But I think when you look over the years of like Grand Prix of like Copenhagen and
the park could make
Horsens, for example, I know obviously they're temporary tracks and track builds, but they kind of create better racing, better atmosphere. Whereas Voyens is one of those of it's not easy to get to. There's not a lot going on around, so you know. But fair play to them. I mean, the promotion, they bring in a good crowd, a good stadium, and everything else. But for me, I make it clear that I like tracks that create good racing.
Really, you haven't mentioned that to me before.
Whereas, I mean, Voyens has done in the past. I mean, it's created some good Grand Prix and everything else. But event-wise, it's just for me, it's not a go-to.
Yeah, I mean, it's the logistics, isn't it, for me, that are the bit of an issue. But apart from that,
I think. But to be honest, I think that's everywhere with Scandinavia. I mean, you look at events like Melilla, they're long-standing events, but the logistics of it are a nightmare. But this is what people that don't work inside Speedway or aren't kind of, a part of what we do is. They don't see that. They don't see it's not just a quick 2-hour flight. You've then, places like Melilla, you've got a 4-hour drive and, the nearest hotel might be 20 minutes away from the track, So, but
at minimum, I think ours is about 35 minutes away. We're in Colding.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Do you stay in the same one as we do this year?
I think I remember.
Yeah, the one with the table tennis table on that.
Yeah. So again, it's not like you can just nip down the road to the stadium or there and back. It's a luxury when you're in places like Cardiff and Walsall where you might be in walking distance. But when you've got events like Melilla and Voyens and stuff, everything's got to be structured so that everyone's there at the same time. Or you miss the minibus, So
you need a car, don't you? Really? I mean, you can't even get public transport unless you taxi.
Yeah, no, exactly. But yeah, I mean. It's exciting that you got Voyens this weekend. I think it's going to be probably one of the first times you've had 3 back-to-back or back-to-back-to-back, for example. And I think with how the Grand Prix series is at the moment, I think it's exciting. It brings tension, but at the same time, if Smarsik runs away with it, it almost takes the thrill away from Torren a little bit. But it's one of those of we'll see what happens, I guess.
I sort of hope that he would. Because we know it was 6 1 half dozen the other with the crash that he did have in Riga. If he had been excluded there, he wouldn't have made the semis.
He wouldn't have made the semis, no.
And if Lambert and Lindgren had made the final, because obviously Zmarzlik wasn't in the semi, mate, how good would it have been if the same thing happened at Tor and it went down to the wire? Brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's the pinnacle with Torren is you look at the years of where it has gone down to the wire or where it's won at Torren, it creates for a good series and. It's one of those. I mean, I'm probably in the camp of I don't think Smarslik should have been in the rerun personally, because at the end of the day is when you're on the inside of a rider like that, you're in control of the corner. I know Mikkelsen lifted first, but if Smarslik wasn't there, is he going to bring it down? I think yes, he would have, but. We all know Smarslik's a hard racer. He always has been, always will be. And I think the last few rounds he has been rattled. And I don't think that's just Grand Prix Speedway. You look at the Extra Liga as well. He's not the red hot Smarslik we all think he is. I think it went under the radar a little bit that there was some engine testing going on in Cardiff. If he wasn't
too well though, did it?
No, exactly. But this is what when you're a world champion, it's what happens. But to be switching engines mid-meeting of Cardiff of being on a Kowalski to then a Peter Johns and whatever else, it's things that again fans don't see. But for someone like Smarsdick, there is something unsettling him in camp, and hopefully for me, I'd like to see something exciting happen in Voyens in the fact of it keeps it alive for Torren, but
agree.
We didn't see Smarsdick in Voyens last year. Obviously, he was kicked out or disqualified. Sorry. So, yeah, but I think it's a level playing field, the Grand Prix at the moment. I think there's a few in there that upset the apple cart, and everyone's fighting for their lives now. You look at the top six, like Jack Holder, like absolutely shocking meeting in Riga, and does that put the pressure on him? But when it's one of those, I've always been quite strong opinionated ever since I kind of worked on the Grand Prix with selection and picks, and I think changing it to top six is almost pretty irrelevant. I don't know what you guys think of it, but you look at it over the years of whether it's top six, top eight. When it was top 8, 9th and 10th were always picked, and now it's top 6, 7th and 8th are always picked. But are they doing that because they want to keep it competitive, or is it it's one of those? But I think the whole battle for the top 6, I still think personally it should be top 8. I personally do.
Do you prefer the old scoring or the new scoring? Because Lebedev's, who obviously scored 14 out of 15 points and then left less than 14 points. Smarsdick finished with, I want to say, 15 and left with 20. So it's sort of like Smarsdick's gained points, whereas Lebedev's, who earned the points, lost them. Anyone in the chat as well, you know the rules. Get in the chat. Tell us what you think as well.
It's a tough one. So I actually, when I worked for BSI in 2018, one of my jobs was we were looking at the ways in which points affect rounds as such, and at the time when I was there, it was kind of you scored what you scored, if that makes sense. Like you say, Lebedev's got 14 on that night, he would have walked away with 14. And I went through years and years of kind of World Championship data and building a spreadsheet which basically said, right, if it was run with like this in say 2002, this would have been the result for this Grand Prix, and this would have been the world champion. And you'd be surprised the difference it made if you had it kind of back then of when it was the traditional scoring of what is now. But I think back then it was like even 25, 20, 18 almost the points. But the difference back then of what it would have been to the actual outcomes is quite sensational when you look at it.
Well, Ty would have been world champion in 19, wouldn't he? If it had been the old point system.
But it's not just that. You look back to even years of like 2008, 2009, 2010, like they're all different outcomes, and you get different winners of things and whatever else. So it's quite interesting. But I've always liked the structure of kind of like MotoGP and F1 of wherever you finish in that event, you've got a set score. But the way I think Speedway is very unique to other sports, I think it should be a case of you walk away with what you score. Personally, that's how I see it. Because at the end of the day, realistically, let's say you scrape through on 9 to a semi, and then you're guaranteed another 4 points. If you've got 2 if you make in the final. If you win in the final, that's another 5 points minimum, or 6 if you win the semi and the final. So it's 15 points. There's still a good haul. So it's one of those. I mean, you'll always have difference of opinion in Speedway, but I personally think it should be what you score.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Anybody else who wants to add to that to the chat, please do. Remember, this is for everyone. It is me, Alex, and Sam's joined us tonight for a little bit as well. So, pretty last minute when Sam and Steve gave you a text and was like,
"Oh, mate, not even kidding."
I
walked in the door from work about 15 minutes ago. So, I thought, hop on. It's nice having some Thursday night Speedway, to be fair. Usually it's kind of a Monday night thing, but that's if it gets underway. Leicester track's looking a little bit wet, to be honest.
Well,
that was a while ago. I think they've scraped it all off now. I think they've scraped all the water off now, which is good.
Is this live with Calvin now? Was this?
No, that's not. Calvin that was ages ago. They always say it's live, but it's technically he's not actually on the track right now. They film that.
You
like
can always
half an
tell
hour
by how many
before,
fans are in the crowd.
You can always tell as well how light it is when they cut back to
Yeah,
Abbey
of
in a
course.
bit.
Yeah,
It'll be
yeah,
really.
I love
No,
Speedway under lights though. I think Speedway under
yeah, no, I
lights.
agree. I'm definitely in the minority here because we had this conversation I think 2 lives ago. I'm a big fan of the new point scoring system. I think I understand why people don't, but I like a bit. When Freddie gets in on 7, wins a Grand Prix, scores 20. I like that kind of jeopardy. Andy Lebedev's getting 14, but the semi-finals and the finals what count. I sort of like that personally. I think it adds an extra level to the semi-finals and the finals. I think maybe the sweet spot was when you had double points at the final. Back in the day, you used to have, I think it was 6 for the win the final,
What year
4
was
for
that?
second, 2 for third. I think it was until about 2012. It was for
Yeah.
a good long time.
It's longer than you think when you look back to the whole double points in the final. But again, I enjoy that kind of concept of the double points thing. I know it's very gimmicky and there's not many other sports that do it, but it adds that extra thing to a final. If you're scoring 6, but if it's almost the fact of, like you say, if you have Smarslick, Lambert, and Lindgren in a final and it's double points, the difference between finishing first and third isn't just a couple of it's 4 points. It's a massive swing, and just by adding that small element. But again, it's do you want to keep following trends of things like MotoGP and motocross and F1, or do you want to keep the uniqueness of Speedway? And personally, for me, I like the uniqueness of being able to play around with point structures and those sort of things.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. Well, do you remember the old Jokers in the World Cup? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember? I think it was about 2000 and early 2000s. So Kingdo would have been like still shitting his pants.
No, I remember. No, the Joker was around.
Do you remember when they all like trying to slow down, not to
2013?
win the race and stuff, and it was like almost like a slow race on the last corner.
Yeah,
Anyone who wins the World Cups with the Jokers, get in the chat.
The Jokers.
I remember the funniest.
You're gone. No, I was going to say the Joker's like for me, it's an added element of. But I'm going back to the days of when like World Cup semi was at Kings Lynn. I'm making myself feel like
2010.
Yeah, but you're there, and Bomber Harris comes out as a Joker for GB. Something. It's a potential here. It's an added fun element of it's being kind of so structured, and I think it's almost the same with British Speedway. Personally, if it was me, there's quite a lot of changes I would recommend or like to go down the avenue of changing just to keep things fresh and sweet. And but like bringing in a tax sub and it not being double points anymore. That to me, we saw it on Monday night with Max Frick came in as a tax sub at some point and finished third, and it was a 5-1. But if he's on double points, that third is still something,
But yes, didn't he have to beat an away rider?
Well, yeah. Sorry, yes, you did. But it's still the fact of suddenly it puts that pressure on of that third is that's catastrophically awful. Instead of you get that second, actually a 4-3 is not or a 4-4, for example. It keeps them it keeps it slightly tighter. But for me, the whole thing of bringing a tax sub in is it's got to count, and the whole double points thing for me was like, this is really counting. If you're again, I'm going back to the days of like riders like Nicky Pedersen and Davey Watt round Eastbourne, for example. You bring them in on a tax sub, it changes a meeting, and you suddenly. Whereas now it's like you bring in a tax sub. Oh, actually, we've had a 5-1 go against us. Right, we're really in trouble here.
I guess if you lose the meeting and someone's got by 1 point and someone's had an opportunity to get double for no reason at all, you must be sweating a bit. You'll be like, what the fuck?
No, of course. Yeah. But it's the thrill of Speedway of like it's incredibly unpredictable. It's not like a football result where you can kind of almost predict that City are going to batter Everton. Do you know what I mean? It's like I was personally surprised with the result on Monday night. That I genuinely thought with the form that Leicester were in, they'd run away with it. But to be 8 points down, I was a little bit surprised, to be honest.
I think that's the whole.
I think Leicester. We'll get it, mate. And there are people watching now. I think Leicester can get it. I think their 1 to 5 are the most solid. It may not have the double stand-up stars like the Ipswich does when they have Dawley and Emil, but to have Lawson, Frick, Becker, Masters, and Dougie, I think it's just so solid throughout.
It's when you look at it and you break it down, it's an incredible team. I think because you've got more than, I would say, 3 heat leaders in there. Like, I think the year that Richard Lawson's having is quite, he's probably the best year I've seen him have from the days of when he used to ride at Arena Essex and Lakeside, and when he was number 1 at Eastbourne. It's or number 5 at Eastbourne, but this is his best season without a doubt. He's running away with it at Poole. We had a cracking 15-point max last night, and to be scoring in races that he scores in the Premiership, I don't see him as a number 2.
Probably best. Could he be the best number 2 in the Premiership, do you reckon?
I think so, yeah. But I think on paper, Leicester are the strongest team from 1 to 7.
I'd say Leicester are the most solid team. I think you look at that. I think maybe they don't have the highest highs, but you go into Heat 13, you're thinking Dougie at 5, is he stronger than someone like a Brady Kurtz or a Emil Sabinov? But in terms of that, there's not a weak link in that top 5. Every single one of them, you look at and go, shit, that we can't. It must be an absolute headache for managers to think about what races they can do the tax sub in, because every race it's so solid,
Yeah, no, of course, but I think again, you look at most teams. I think in this the whole season, I think take the odd one out. Like I feel a bit sorry for Birmingham that they started how they did. I think
Lynn as well. I think Lynn have been unlucky, very unlucky.
Yeah, but it goes back to my thing of my biggest disappointment. I think this season's been kind of 6 and 7, like your younger rider berth, your reserve spots. And I think where it's let itself down a bit is chopping and changing. And I think it's a little bit unfair at times. For me, I think the only club personally for me that have done it well is Sheffield.
Mm-hmm.
They've really looked after Dan Gilks. And I mean, we know Gilksy really well. He's a cracking lad. But his team position's never been kind of at risk. Do you know what I mean? When Sheffield have still succeeded, they're in the playoffs next week. But for someone like Gilksy, he's not hitting 7, 8, 9 points a week, but when he has good weeks, it's there.
Yeah.
But they've looked after him as a rising star. When you look at other clubs that take Bellevue, for example, very quick to chop and change and be like, well, this ain't working. He's only scored 1 here, 1 there. And I feel like that's where these kind of things falter a little bit in these 1 to 7s. I know Sam has come in for Leicester and he's struggled to get going. It's a massive step up. You go from Championship to Premiership, but I feel like this is where you can win a meeting is your 6 and 7.
Do you think the gap between the Championship and the Premiership now, between the young riders, is so big? But between the National League and the Championship, I think the gap is significantly less than between the Championship and the Premiership. That makes sense.
Yeah, of course. I think it's the same with quite a lot of sports. So when you look at that step, yeah, but I think it is something I personally think needs to be improved, and I feel like that's down to maybe point limits or certain restrictions on Championship rules. For example, I feel like Championship is kind of a good feeder league for Premiership, especially for British riders and even like young Aussies, like Tate, for example. Yeah, he's come in at Workington and he's started off amazingly well, but he had a chance to prove himself in that league, to which Bellevue took a punt.
Good shout.
This is it. But it was incredibly unfortunate as to what happened to him. But the Championship was where it happened. And I think you take a lot of riders from that Championship and go, they've got to where they are in the Premiership, for example, because they had a chance to show in the Championship. But I just feel like the rules are too tight. And again, you look at it and you go, you've got more teams in the Championship than the Premiership. I feel like that's the wrong way round for me.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. We're going to go to the chat a second because people are chatting, and like we always say, it's really, really important. This is for everyone here. Sam's just jumped on. Anyone who actually is serious about jumping on, you can just DM us on Twitter or Instagram, and you can jump on as well. And this is for everybody. It's not just me and Kingo talking shit. Well, it is most of the time, but everyone's here to be together. So we're going to go for Johnson. I don't know how to put this comment up because it's John, and obviously you know what John's like. John said, Red Rabbit.
Oh no.
We'll leave that where it is. Tom says, bring back the old 24 rider GP knockout format. I thought that was brilliant, especially for excitement. What do you think, King Day?
I don't know what it is. I know of it, but I don't know what it is. It's before my time.
It used to be that you would basically, if you lost 2 races in a row, you would be eliminated, as it were.
Well, then, as a Yankovic #1 fan, I'm going to go. We don't do that.
Kaylee says track looks sketchy.
Yeah, it looks a bit wet. But I tell you what, shout out to the track staff at Belmont Park, because it looked a lot wetter and sketchier earlier on, and it looks, maybe take a couple of races to bed in, but I think it will be safe and decent racing.
Yeah, but again, I think it's one of those of Leicester is a track that can handle it, and I think because Leicester is a track that gets a lot of laps on it day in, day out. I mean, it's a track that a lot of these guys test at.
364 days a year they're allowed to ride.
Exactly, but again, I don't know if you've ever been to Leicester or anyone in the chat's been to Leicester, but the way it's different from most stadiums and tracks is it's very out of the way. It's kind of own unique entity. Whereas, you go to Poole, you've got the police station right outside, or, you go to Oxford, you're parking down outside a load of housing,
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it has that benefit, but I think the fact is the track's been worked on and designed so well that it can handle things like this. It's the same as Bellevue. I mean, it's a purpose-built venue that can handle these sort of things, where I think if you go somewhere like Sheffield or Ipswich, because it's not so heavily used, I don't feel like it's got the sort of thing to be able to handle it. So it's probably pretty lucky that it is at Leicester tonight.
Yeah, I completely agree, mate. We're going to run through the team quickly, because I have actually missed the Ipswich team, because we've all been gassing away. Number 7,
Dan Thompson 7. Ashton
Dan Thompson back at reserve is,
yeah.
I think, is a big thing for Ipswich. Then obviously with Ashton Bowden coming in
at 6, yeah.
At 6, good.
I think the big move is Danny King. I think the big move is having Adam Ellis at 5 over Danny King. Then you have Brennan at 4.
On Brennan 4, yeah.
King at 3?
No, King's at 2.
Rue's at 3. King's at 2.
Yeah. And then
one will be
1.
Yankovic.
Yeah, obviously.
So it's the same guests, the same team as Monday night, which is I think
And I think Leicester's unchanged. So Hagen's 7. I don't know. They've got a 6 actually.
Numbers are good at Leicester as well. I'm going to crack for a few more comments, because again, this is all about the comments, because I keep saying it's for everyone. So make sure you keep commenting. Do you address that, King? Will I get them in?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Henry Churchman says, congratulations to Eurosport for putting together the most anti-Ipswich commentary team possible for tonight. I don't know if I agree with that, Henry. I mean, literally, Calvin sits with Chris Louis a lot, and they got on really well. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I get why you maybe say Simon Stead's a bit anti-Ipswich, but also he's also the British team manager, so I think he has a lot of stake in a few of the riders that are there. So I think he'll be more watching with a keen eye on them being anti-Ipswich, because I'm sure. Actually, if you're Simon Stead, I don't know if it's cheeky saying this, I think you'd probably rather Ipswich get through of the two teams.
It's a very almost British heavy squad, isn't it, when you think about it?
Yeah. This is our favourite commenter ever with the name Fruit Pastel God 208. Says Ippo losing that 5-1 on Heat 15 could be the difference tonight. I agree. It went from a potential 16-point lead to an 8-point lead. And Kaylee just talking about the track, saying they've done well. So it doesn't cause any accidents. Cool, yeah, that's exactly it, isn't it?
Yeah. Fruit Pastel God again, 208 says the lines for the big hitters, but key is for the Ipswich reserves. I think it's probably stronger at reserve. What do you reckon, Sam?
Again, I think it goes back to what I said: is reserves do win your meetings. I think you look at a lot of scores and a lot of points of where reserves pick up points, and I think tonight, a track like Leicester, it's wet. It's going to rut up. It's going to be grippy in places when it gets going. You need riders that are brave on the bike. Now, you got Louis Kerr with Leicester. He's fearless. He'll go for it. You got Sam Hagen.
Poole last night as well. Louis Kerr was. It was good to see Louis Kerr have a good stand-up night. He was good at Poole last night.
Yeah. No, I saw the scores, and I don't think the scores did him justice. To be fair,
or do I? I think he looked fast.
But then, you've got obviously Sam Hagan at 7. I think Sam still finding his feet, still a little bit. I don't want to say nervous or timid, but you don't want to be throwing it in on a wet Leicester at full gas, you know. So there's that. And then you look at the Ipswich reserves of Dan Thompson. We know he rides in the wet. You look at him at
he's a gator.
SON2. He can gate. And you got Ash. And for me, all season, Ash has kind of been one to watch. And I've been lucky enough to work alongside him at GB on a few events. And he's a lovely, down-to-earth kid. And all he cares about is riding his bike, and he absolutely loves riding his bike. And when it's not working for him, we need to find a fix. And I think he went through a stage of 6-7 meetings that things were struggling, and I caught up with him. I can't remember where it was, but I caught up with him, and when he started to kind of find what was going wrong, and all it was clutch issues, and he was getting clutch drag, and he wasn't gating, and then all of a sudden he's hitting 15-point max, 14 plus 1 a week, or two days later, or a day later, and at 17 years old, it's pretty stunning what he's able to achieve. And I feel like a track like this, where you need confidence and everything else, he could shine tonight.
Yeah,
So
mate. I heard a rumor that he's bought Max Frick's ex-GP engines. Don't know how much truth's in that.
There is truth in that. So we were in Piwa. I think it was July or June. No, it was June. It was before SON. And we were out there for an under-19 pairs semi-final or final, or whatever it was. And when his dad Brad brought the bikes out, there was a bike missing an engine. It was just a roller. I said to him, I said, "I think you're missing something there, mate." He went, "Oh no, my engine's turning up." And
got delivered there, and then.
Yeah, so be it. A nice Ashtec box turned up, and he outboxed it. And it was a used Frick GP engine from 2023, but fully refurbished and everything else. And I tell you what, Ashton rode the thing like it was absolutely sensational. I mean,
hasn't it worked though? Look at him recently.
Well, but even sorry, the cat's getting in the way. Even that meeting, he beat Bartosz Bamba. The heat where we were up against Poland, and he went out and beat Bamba. Honestly, he looked like he'd been riding the bike 20 years. It was absolutely sensational. So I've got high hopes for him. That's for sure. I think he's a great prospect. He's going to go a long way. But again, you look at it in the fact of the guys he's riding with, riders like Freddie Hodder had a good season for Berwick. And I think he won was it Stars of the Future or whatever it was the other night. He won that at Berwick, and another great rider. I think there's a lot of youth that, really showing. Riders like Will Cairns, they're so young and they've got such a long way to go. I think the future's bright with those guys, but it goes back to what I said about clubs have got to support them, and you can't be throwing these guys in a rising star spot in whatever league and then ripping that away when they're not scoring 5-6 consistently every week. They need the support to get to that point. And I think it was almost the same with Ash at Oxford. And I think he felt it a little bit of suddenly going from being number 7 at Oxford to them, in the rising star berth, to them being moved to 6. And I don't think a lot of people realise the difference between number 7 and number 6 in big leagues. The change in heats and the riders you go up against, but not even that, is the gates you suddenly go off. It changes dramatically. So you got that change, and then suddenly at 17 years old being pushed into number 2 or number 3, it's a massive thing. So I feel like it's for me personally, it's something I would look at to change for next year, is just kind of more protection around those young riders for those sort of spots.
I do agree, mate, completely. Right, we are about to go live for Heat 1. Before we go, Kaylee's put a really, really important comment. Predictions for tonight. It's not who goes through, who wins the meeting, scores. So everyone who's watching, put your predicted score in the section here. And I have said on Twitter that if somebody gets the score right for this meeting, not the aggregate, for this meeting tonight, if anyone puts the correct score before the start of Heat 1, I'll get you a present from the SGP of Voynes this weekend. And before I let Sam go for a minute, Sam, someone said Belgium would be a good guest for the show. Do you reckon you could hook it up?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think, again, Ash he's only 17, and obviously I've had the luxury of interviewing him a few times for GB and everything else, and he's very shy. He struggles with those sort of things, and it's a confidence thing. I think even with TV, it's not his forte. Again, he's a young lad. He just wants to ride his bike and have fun. So it's a tough one. It's one to probably work on for the future.
Well, get him to talk to Will Cairns then, because Will Cairns, he was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, no, of course, but it's just a confidence thing.
Yeah, of course it is. Sam, I'm going to let you go so me and Kingdom can do our thing for now.
No worries.
Mate, thank you for coming in, mate. Honestly,
That's
it's
all
great
right.
to hear
Thank you
someone
for having
talk
me.
proper sense and stuff. And if you ever want to jump on, mate, if you want to jump on later, just jump in, mate. Just literally jump in here and I'll stick you on.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll be on.
Good to see you, man.
See you again, dude.
You love Sam in the comments. And we're going to go to heat number 1. So me and Kingdo back now in our correct positions. Mate, good to have someone talk so well at that, isn't it? Confidently as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we've been lucky enough to. Well, you obviously
and we
known
missed
a
the
bit longer
start
than I
of
have,
heat
but I can
but
tell you, it's.
oh my
it's,
god, that's wet.
Strawberry Jam's gone down.
Yeah, but he's going to lay down.
down.
Is he going to get up? Because Leicester on a 5-1. Does he shit house it? Yeah, he has. Maybe rightly so. He didn't hit anything. He put. I would almost say he put the bike down there. You do have Strawberry Jam, Quebec.
Yeah, it's Strawberry Jam and Danny King and Richard Lawson.
Yes, of course. Jan Quebec, Danny King, Max Frick, and Richard Lawson.
Did he get a tap from Frick?
Quebec makes a great gate, by the way. Drifts wide.
Did he get a tap from Frick?
Do you reckon?
I don't know. I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying did he? Because it's quite close. Oh, he might have done. And the thing is, with it being as wet, I mean, he might have shouted it a bit, but with it being as wet as it is, could he have got the bike up? Can he get away with that?
We have got some more comments coming in. Everyone, put your comments in. What's going on? GP related? Any questions for Sam? Who might jump on later on?
Oh, he's out. He's out. He's out.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because he went wider, had a little look around and just dumped the bike down. So I do agree with that somewhat. Let's hit this couple of minutes. So it says, as always, if protecting the lead, running no places, helps big style, but the mad Stuart Jock Dixon will have the Lions fired up when at Glasgow. Stuart was the Jose Mourinho managers. Great manager. I think everyone's scared of Dicko a little bit, aren't they? So,
I mean, I am, and I don't even know him.
A couple of score predictions as well: 50-10 and 46-40. A close one from Kaylee. Kaylee also says that was a smooth laydown. Nice to see it wasn't a smash up. I think he just drifted wider and wider and just tipped it over. But Tom said Christine never does all four back, but I don't think he got touched, mate. I think at the end of the day, he put the bike down. Anyone else who disagrees, agrees, put it in the comment section. That's what this is about. It's for everybody. People are watching, and I encourage you, comment as much as you can. Spam the chat, because me and King just have to talk about.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, obviously being part of the Yankovic fan club, I think that's a ridiculous decision. Yankovic should be in every heat and allowed back in. But they're probably the right call. I think we're interested to see how Danny King does it too tonight, because I think he's obviously great rider, great guy, but putting him in that big heat 13 sometimes never really worked out. I tell you what, it's a really good start from Danny King. Tell you what, we say we switch out. He's going to have to go in the dirt, though. I don't think there's enough there. He's been swallowed up. But so I'll tell you what, it's like a good year for I was going to say Sheffield Tigers. It is the Leicester Lions. But
for anybody who worries why Kingdo may be making little bits of mistakes tonight, Kingdo, who is does have cerebral palsy, has said he's having a bit of physical troubles tonight. So bear with him and show him some love. You know, he's always here, Kingdo. He does it with me, and he loves this. So
if you see me turn the camera off for a second, I'm not dying.
He's just having a little wobbly moment.
Yeah,
but it's all part of his character, and we love it. So at the moment, Richard Lawson from the Rocket Man, second place. Max Frick and Danny King has gone from first to third, which is the back, and it will be a 5-1 to the Leicester Lions in Heat 1, which is.
So this could be a load of bollocks, but I tell you what could pay dividends is having Dan Thompson back at reserve. If he's firing, give him 7 heats. Could be the saving grace.
1 to Ipswich. Shall I put the aggregate on as well? 46.50.
Yeah.
So they reduced the deficit by half in one ride. After one heat.
It's your turn to do the thing, isn't it? You do it the other way around.
It is. The race result is in first, Richard Lawson, second place, Max Frick, and in third, Danny King, with no points for Jankovic at the back, who finished, was excluded. So if you're listening here and you're not watching on the TV, it is 5-1 to Leicester, 46 to 50 on aggregate. Comment section. Let's have a look at what we got going on. Nevster says spam. I said spam the thing. You are welcome to spam the comment section. That's what it's all about. Keith, do you love me? Says, what was the exclusion about? I missed it. Jankovic went wide on the first start and ultimately just tipped the bike over. If he had been touched by Max Frick, I would have seen why he'd done it, but I don't think he did. So, yeah. Kaylee says, sort of wondering if they're going to abandon the meeting within the first few heats. I doubt it. I think the more they wide it, the better it will get.
It's not unsafe.
That's not unsafe.
I think Jan took an opportune moment to see that they didn't make a good start and maybe think,
And also, before the meeting, people were saying that the rough track may actually suit Ipswich. So, yes. Okay, Jan skid out too far and stopped the heat. Kelly also says riders are going to be working hard to see tonight. Danny came off brown. It's I think visibility on these track conditions is worse than the actual sliders of the track.
Yeah, I think that's why you saw Danny King kind of sit back. Obviously, legend in real life, Faye.
Yeah, Faye at Bum says, big up Strawberry Jam.
She says, for fuck's sake, Jam. She's not happy with Jam. Not big up. It's for fuck's sake.
Oh, same thing.
I thought big up is a positive, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she's very happy with Jam.
Anyway, the introduction of heat number 2. On the inside is Ashton Bowden for the Ipswich Witches. On gate 2 is Louis Kerr. Louis Kerr for Leicester. On gate number 3 is Dan Thompson for Ipswich. And on gate 4, on the outside, young Paul Pirate, Sam Hagan, who I am going to Voyens with his partner Megan tomorrow, who's travelling with me to Voyens again after travelling to quite a few Grand Prix this season with me. So,
friend of the show, Megan, as well.
Sorry?
Friend of the show and
he certainly
totally.
Is. Here we go. Heat number 2.
Quiz answerer.
Lies down, grabbing. Let's go.
Bowden was a great start.
Bowden flew out the track.
And Dan Thompson. But I tell you what, is Louis Kerr going to be a bit better at these conditions? Tell you what, Dan Thompson's going in the dirt.
Oh my God.
Not enough there at the minute.
Bowden in first, Louis Kerr in second, and Dan Thompson is pushing all he can on Louis Kerr. And I reckon he probably looks a little bit like he's making inroads, or not anymore.
Well, I
think still in the mix.
What we need to try and do is kind of force Louis into a mistake, really, because I think at the minute the track's not there to produce the racing lines. But if he can try and it's hard to spook a rider like Louis Kerr. Realistically, you probably want Sam Hagan in the middle there, who looks like he's really struggling, but he probably just doesn't want to get his visibility ruined at this point.
I agree. But if he's not going to make it up anyway, it's not worth it.
Exactly. I tell you what, though, Dan Thompson's going to give it absolutely everything here. But Ashton Bowden.
Tell
you what, mate.
Tidy, actually. So Bowden in first, looking tidy. Louis Kerr in second for Leicester. Makes it a 4-2 to the Witches away from home.
That's important for the obviously the Witches. If they can fire at reserve, like Simon said, it could win the meeting. And the result is Ashton Bowden 1, Louis Kerr 2, Dan Thompson 3, and Sam Hagan 4th. So there you go. I got a bit stuck like a record there for a second, but we made it through.
Don't you worry, my mate. We know what it's all about.
So that's the aggregate score, 54 points to 48 to the Witches. Tell you what, I think Chris Louis and Richie Hawkins will probably see that as a really big positive. Because it's like if Bowden, if they can just avoid last places at reserve, they'll see this through.
I said to Paulie Jazz actually before the start of this meeting, I said, no last places and you're through, mate. No last places. That's all you need. You don't need to win anything. Just no last places and you're through. Before we get to the introduction of heat number 3, we're going to do the comment section. where Wiki says, could you say exactly when the tapes go up next time? Gonna time the stream with the live. We're actually watching on the television, which is a little bit ahead of if you're watching on Discovery Plus or Sky Go or something like that. So I will tell you exactly when the tapes go up exactly. Fruit Pastel God says Ippo needs something in the 2 or it will run away from them. I guess he means
yeah. Oh, that's great from Tom. We love that sort of.
Fantastic, Tom. I'm actually going to star that comment because it's. We'll keep that one for later. 4-2 to the Lions.
I think Kaylee's a Leicester fan, isn't she? Because she's a Wolverhampton fan, so she likes Leicester. If I remember correctly from our last stream, Kaylee is definitely supporting the Lions here. So I think either that or I misspoke. It's one of those two. Fayette Bums, go on, lads! Absolutely agree, 100%. Like I said, I've been our close friends, Paulie, Jazz, Cos, and Faye are all Ipswich fans. So I'm a Paul fan in the Championship and an Ipswich fan in the Premiership.
Okay, Jordan, hit number 3.
Of course, we have Luke Becker off 1. We have, I believe, Keenan Rue off 2. We have Sam Masters off 3, and we have Paul Pirate's own Tom Brennan off the outside gate.
Up the Brennan.
And conditions could suit him today as well. He's normally pretty good at the
gate. This time, though. He's in his personal ones. But for the tapes are going up now.
So not the best start, but Brennan's got.
Punching Brennan's down.
I think it was actually Rue and Brennan that hit each other there as well. Oh dear. Oh, Brennan
is absolutely filthy.
Those Cardiff Cavalars that he had.
Mate, he's not even done one turn, and he looks like the mud monster.
Get the jet washer out.
Jet wash out. He is absolutely covered in dirt from head to toe. You can just see his eyes from where he's taking his goggles off. He's absolutely soaked. Interesting comment from Kiki. We'll get there in a second. Let's go have a look at this though. Was it Rue that took him? Oh my god!
It's not intentional.
I mean, is it first corner bunch even when you take your own teammate out?
Yes, surely.
Let's go to the comments, Kingdom. We'll take it in turns to read through a couple of Margot first and Kaylee. Nice to see Belgian out in front. Completely agree. Nice to see a British youngster prospering so well.
Kiki is still extremely delayed, saying that the tapes only went up for him. Oh, Rue's out. You are right. Rue's gone.
Is that not first corner bunching though?
Apparently, I thought it would have been. I think that's very harsh.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's all good to me. I don't know why Richie Hawkins is absolutely fuming.
I don't understand how that's not first. The thing is, right, is that I'm not a referee. I'm not trying to tell what she did a job, but the conditions are tough. It's not like Rue's out of control going into the corner. That's just like a natural position of where he would go. And I suppose he rides out a bit.
If that was Masters or Becker there, that probably would have been all 4, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We got a nice smooth ride from Ashton.
We take through 3s all night. Well, yeah, Faye, you're going to need one now.
Riders behind the leaders getting filled in with mud. Passing will be difficult. It will be through passing. It will be difficult, but it will separate the men from the boys. And if you really want it, you will pass.
Nicely doily there. I think that was the big takeaway from the podcast with the Heat 1 boys, wasn't it? Is that how much Ipswich have not looked after him, but checked in on him, kept him part of the family. And yeah, I think he definitely still feels a part of it, even though he's not really been a part of it since, was it May, early June? Around that time.
I think he's, you can tell he's passionate about the club as well, which is a testament to Richie Hawkins, Chris Louis, everyone behind the scenes at Ipswich, because it shows that if you've got a happy rider, it's a dangerous rider. Kaylee says, no, I'm more of a supporter of the riders. I have no team. King, I'm behind, and Belgian. Brennan is the one I want to see in the SGP one day. I think Brennan could be our next Grand Prix rider, if I'm honest. So,
I think I'm not going to say the Woofington replacement, but I don't see a day where we get 4 permanent Brits in the Grand Prix. I could be wrong. So I think and obviously
Brennan
Bewley
won't
and
be for a
Lambert.
couple of years, mate. But I mean, I think he's the next
Yeah,
one
that's
in
what I'm
line
saying.
at the moment, unless he gets taken over dramatically by someone like Cairns or.
Well, here's the thing: is that this is what me and Paulie just talking about with the Grand Prix challenge, with obviously you talk about Lambert, Bewley, Holder being in there, with the challenge being after Torrent. If Holder, Bewley, and Lambert already qualified, did they not get taken out of the challenge? Because why would they need to be in it? They've already
I
qualified.
guess if they finish top of the challenge, they'd be obsolete. I would guess.
Maybe
Becca, I haven't seen Becca in here before. Actually, Becca comes to our Grand Prix. Says bit moist out there. I mean, understatement of the year, Becca. I reckon. Kiki actually said he's going to pause the stream for the exact amount of time that we are ahead to his stream. Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
So that when he presses play again, it will be in time. So
100%.
Good idea, Kiki.
Another one of our OG favourites. It's below
21 Honda Civic.
Oh, 2001 Honda Civic. Looks like he's in Shrek Swan. I mean, that is possibly another one of my favourite comments of the evening already. So, mate, yeah, he's not having some waffles there, bruv.
No, mate. Richie Hawkins
what did he say?
Impressed with Christina Turnbull. Basically said
he's been
us for years, I think. So, King, do you want to go through a couple of comments a minute before we do the rerun? And I'm going to grab a beer.
Yeah. So Kaylee said that she's been on 4. I agree. Kiki, cool. So really weird decision. She's absolutely been on 4 restart. You guys are probably way ahead of me right now. Fingers crossed that you can sync up with us because I know how annoying it can be. Face that's where it's where this ref has got an issue with Ipswich. Richie agrees. Obviously, I've seen Christina referee tons of events. Scotty Hayes, howdy to you too, sir. And Kaylee Millard says, seems no fay. Seems so fay. No consideration for the track conditions. I don't know, but here we go. It's heat number 3. Tapes are up. Can Brennan make another good start? He's going to need to from the outside gate. Tell you what, he's done it. Masters and Becker going to trip over each other, and Brennan is away here out in front, but being chased by Becker. I tell you what, given the result of the way that went with ROWE, Ipswich will be very happy with this, but Becker looks on it. Masters not so much.
Brennan looks fearless. Brennan, who's absolutely, he just looks brown from head to toe. Have you ever seen a rider apparently like after a quarter of a lap of Speedway?
No.
So Brennan's absolutely caked, but he is leading from example at the front.
Oh, so you got a comment from Scotty here, which says, "Carl, your ST sounds so nice from behind."
Oh, I didn't know
it is a very nice car. It is a very nice car. I'm a big fan of the sound system and the light up cup holders myself. I'll tell you what, Tom Brennan.
Tom Brennan. Big up Tom Brennan.
Katie says Brennan's wearing camouflage.
Right, wow. You can't see him.
I'll tell you what, with riders like, if Bowden and Brennan was winning races like that, it could be in for an interesting meeting.
Over to you, boy, on the result.
Sorry, I thought Tom Brennan, you winner. Luke Becker, second. Masters, third. ROWE, fourth. Puts us at 10-8 on the night, but 57-51 to the Witches on aggregate.
Yes, so I was just updating the scroll at the bottom of the screen.
Because
there's 2 of them. I have to make sure I do them both correctly.
And Scotty Hayes has just come in and said, me and Carl have the same car, but he's got the sporty version. There you go.
The cases seem so fair about the track, about the ref having an issue with Ipswich. Have you been through these ones, Day?
I've been through everything up to Scotty's comment there, right at the bottom. Cool. I've been through them all.
I can't have the same car, but it has a sporty version. I have there's only 300 of mine, Scott. I've also got the handmade sound system, and if you look under my bonnet, mate, it will look very, very different.
I also missed this one.
It sounds very different.
Tom, I'll tell you what, mate. wouldn't surprise me at the minute because I'm normally being cast fairly, non-biased, but I do disagree with that rule. I think that's a bit harsh. And when you're in, playoff Speedway, you don't want to see exclusions. That's me personally as a someone that's, I'm a fan of Ipswich, but I'm not close loyal. But I like a good 4 rider heat, and you don't have to exclude somebody. I don't think you should.
Agree. Going into heat 4, we have, I probably missed it again, Louis Kerr on the inside. Is it Dan Thompson on gate 2?
Yep.
Yeah, on gate
you better get now.
Here you are. It hasn't come up yet. That's why I haven't missed it. And the inside gate, it is Louis Kerr on the inside. Dan Thompson off of 2. Lawson off of 3 for the rider replacement role for Dougie. And Adam Ellis on the outside. So for the Leicester Lions, you have Louis Kerr and Richard Lawson. And for the Ipswich Witches, you have Dan Thompson and Adam Ellis. What do you reckon, Kingdo?
I reckon Ellis might like this. It's maybe my thing. But I reckon Thompson and Kerr are probably the ones to look at. And also Lawson.
Look at the gating from Thompson, though. I think the gating from Thompson is what is so good about him. And Lawson around the outside, they're relentless.
I'll tell you what, Adam Ellis at the inside of Louis Kerr. I'll tell you what, Louis Kerr's made a mistake, and that's allowed Ellis at the inside. And then 3-3 for Ipswich. I'll tell you what, if you're the Witches, 2 points after 4 heats, you take that.
Yeah,
100% you take that.
Like Sam said at the beginning of the stream, Richard Lawson's having the season of his life, honestly.
He just gets better with age. I think it's more as wilder his hair gets, the better he gets.
But he did cut it, and that's when he got good. But we do have Dan Thompson. We have Richard Lawson leading the race. Dan Thompson second.
Oh, Dan Thompson got very close there. I don't know if you saw that. He got very well on the inside of him. That could have ended in tears. I'll tell you what, if you're Richie Hawkins, you're saying, Dan, do not fall off at this. I'll tell you what, another lap, and it was quite close.
Though. It's a really Richard Lawson, Dan Thompson, Adam Ellis, Louis Kerr at the back. Louis Kerr doesn't look like he's relishing in the conditions, Kingdo.
No, I'll tell you what.
David Graving says, evening guys from Sussex Eagles Motorcycle Club. I will see you next Saturday, my mate, to do some drone work for you. Kingdo, result of Heat 4.
Richard Lawson, your winner. Dan Thompson second, Adam Ellis third, and Louis Kerr at the back, which puts you at a 13-11 on the night and 60 points 54 to the Witches on the aggregate score. For some reason, Louis Kerr is the one there that's tripping me up with all this stuff that's going on today. It's the only one so far. Tell you what, though, those Ipswich reserves, mate, if Belgian can just keep doing his thing, getting a couple of points, and Dan Thompson run like that, it could be a longer night than we think for the Leicester Lions.
I agree, mate. I really, really do agree. That's not after Heat 3, it's after Heat 4. So it's an absolute pig because I've got to change 2 scores and things are moving pretty quickly. But after Heat 4, it is 13.
11.
Why have I put 22? One absolute tard.
I don't know about you.
So Leicester 2 up on the night, 6 down on aggregate. But conditions definitely catching a few people out, Kingdo.
Yeah, but am I a bit vindictive for really enjoying this kind of speedway? Well, I know people are saying the racing's not good, but I love seeing the riders on the edge when the conditions aren't great. Obviously I don't want to see anyone get hurt, and that's when you fully stop it. But like when you're seeing Dan Thompson got the inside and the bike's smoking because he's using it that much, I love that. That's great. That's what speedway is.
That's it, mate. Free Pastor God says, well done to Tom. Got he left Glasgow. I think. Wow. I don't know what happened there, but I know that I don't think Glasgow thought he was in the championship or wanted to go down a different route.
Yeah.
I can tell you something through Pastor, my old mate. He's very happy at Poole. Very, very happy at Poole. He also says Carl's got a souped up Latvian taxi. I tell you what, mate, some of the Latvian taxis, not great. Not the most reliable things in the world.
Didn't you say that you thought it was going to blow up or something?
Oh, my God. Awful. Literally, you can hear the rads just blowing out like crazy. Chat, people are watching. What do you reckon so far? Do you reckon it should have been run? Do you reckon it should have been cancelled? Do you reckon it's okay? Does it separate the men from the boys? Who's going to win? Can Ipswich hold on? Ipswich hold on. Literally, chat anything in the live chat down there. And we'll talk about absolutely everything because, as I keep saying, and I'll say to him, blue in the face, this is for everyone. It's not just me and Kingdo, the Me and Kingdo show. It's for everyone to have a chat, and everyone's just as important as us. Tom says, seen worse. Completely agree. So some of the best meters I've ever seen have been in conditions like this. And as I've said a lot of times, Kingdo, if you had every meeting like this in the Grand Prix, Simon Lambert could be world champion.
No, I agree. I think as well, to go back to what Sam said, and like you say, he spoke a lot of sense we can go back to a lot. Like when he was saying about how, Leicester's such a good facility, like the track's only going to get better. And to be fair, that might actually favour the Witches, really, because both teams are very specific about how they set up the track. So for it to be a bit uneven could favour the Witches. But you've got to look at that team, realistically, Hagen and Kerr need to fire tonight for Leicester. Otherwise, it's going to be tough.
As they've seen so far. 2001 Honda Civic says, do the tracks with less banking tend to be easier or harder to ride in conditions like this? I've only had a go once on the Isle of Wight, so I'm not a Speedway rider. I couldn't answer that. There may be, of all the people watching, there may be a Speedway rider watching. So if you are a Speedway rider, ex-Speedway rider, have ridden a Speedway bike, 2001 Honda Civic has said, do the tracks with less banking tend to be easier or harder to ride in these conditions? I mean,
if I had to guess, I would
more sort of banking for the rain to run off, or
if I had to guess, I'd take more comes down to which riders are on it. I think riding style in these conditions comes down quite very important. Like, I think someone like Smarzlik would really struggle around here just because his riding style is so much leaning off the edge of the bike, and obviously the bike will be fucking wild in these kind of conditions, whereas someone more like you said, like a Simon Lambert or something like that would actually, I think, get on quite well. I think it all comes down to your riding style more than it does how tricky the tracks are.
Yeah,
like Bobber, for example, relishes in this because his riding style lends to it, trying to kick off the dirt, like leaning with the bike. Whereas someone like Smarzlik, who kind of leans away from the bike, I feel like someone like him who's so smooth would actually struggle.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Kiki says, yeah, definitely could continue. I agree. I remember some meetings in the early thousands where it was ferociously wet. I mean, it should definitely have been called off. He also says 2021 Honda, not easier or harder. I don't think the banking makes too much of a difference, is what Kiki is saying.
The track there looks really good. But on the screen now, it looks fine.
I mean, we're quite far out, aren't we? But
that's what I mean. Like you would look at it that way, and you'd think that. Here we go. Then we got big strawberry jam. He's been washed off. He's ready to go again. Daddy King at 2 could be a trump card. All Daddy King's really got to do is pick up a couple points, win Heat 8, and he's done his job tonight. That could be a trump card to have it. Oh, mate, we'll tell you what, we've got the perfect answer here. If you don't mind me clicking the comment, Sam Dennington's come in and said it depends on the track. Tracks are more banking like Manchester and Torrey naturally drain quicker, so we'll dry quicker.
And it was a guess.
Better racing sooner. Thanks for coming in, Sam. Love that from you, mate. Oh, the boy. Nikolai. Literally, that's in it. He's back.
Welcome back, Nikolai.
How is it only Heat 4, mate? Well, because we had to wait half an hour because it's been a bit wet.
Yeah, there's a bit of a delay, I think, because the track was a little bit sloppy.
We've had Shrek Swamp so far this evening. It's been how we've described it in the chat. Here we go, though. Heat number 5. You've got Danny King off 1, Sam Masters off 2, Jan Kivek off 3, and Luke Becker off the outside gate. So 1 and 3 tend to be the better gate so far from what I'm seeing, but you can get a good run off 4. So there you go. Richie Hawkins the blood will be boiling. That man will want to win now. He want to win anyway, but I think even more now. He want to put the needle to him as quickly as he can. He advantage here for the Witches, Carl, and it's looking like it could be an interesting time.
I mean, if you look at percentage of the meeting passed and percentage of the aggregate taken away, they're on track, aren't they? But Leicester will come stronger later on. Here we go. Eyes down, grabbing. Tapes up.
It's a great start from the Leicester boys.
Both of them. Oh, Leicester on a 5. Oh, go on, boy. Leicester on a 5-1.
You know what Strawberry Jam's not like in these conditions.
Well, Danny King almost had to put the brakes on then of a bike with no brakes.
Just thank God for the engine braking. And Yankivek's packed up at the back, which is not fantastic.
Yankivek's having a stinker, isn't he?
Yeah, it's not been his best night. He was so good on Monday, and tonight he's not doing what he needs to do at number one.
At the moment, Masters, Becker, and Danny King, and in that order, it's a 5-1 to the Lions as it stands as we go into the last lap.
It's looking pretty elementary for me. It's looking like Masters, Becker, the correct distance away from each other, looking like they're going to get the job done.
And that reduces the deficit on aggregate to 2 points. So the gap that Ipswich had at the end of Heat 4 is now 3 times smaller at the end of Heat.
Oh, I like a comment like that. That makes I like that.
Stats King Day. Sports all about stats.
I love stats.
Deco looks fired up as hell here. Is Frick coming in? It is Frick's programmed ride, isn't it? So he's not.
Well, he can. He can technically take the rider replacement. So I don't know what order it will be.
So the result here: in first, Sam Masters; second, Luke Becker; third, Danny King; and Yankovic didn't finish, but the result stands the same. It's a 5-1 to the Leicester Lions, and the gap now on aggregate is down to 2 points. So if anyone can't watch on TV, 2 points the aggregate difference now to Ipswich.
Yeah, I think this could be a topsy-turvy night. I mean, I could come to ruin that, but I just think that the strength of the Ipswich reserves and I think could pay dividends. No, absolutely not. I mean, that's playoff Speedway for you, though. You never are. I mean, yeah, I just think I think we're in for a much more interesting meeting. Maybe the racing won't be top stellar, but the actual drama. We've already seen a lot of drama tonight as it is. We're only 5 heats in. That's what it's all about.
It's what the track's do to you, my mate, when it's like this. Comment section. What do you reckon? Tell us what you're thinking so far. It's not an absolute classic, by all means, but it's got to get run, isn't it?
Yeah, I just think that what is happening is sort of the best they're gonna get. You might get a couple of good racing, but realistically, I think if you're Ipswich, you're not too bothered by this.
Yeah, Kiki, I completely agree, mate. It says that this is getting more and more exciting, better racing. Anyone can win on aggregate. Completely agree. It's good for the TV audience, good for the neutrals. I think Leicester will be a little bit bereaved that they haven't got the track that they wanted, but it's making for good entertainment. But as we get down to the start of heat number 6, you see Stuart Dixon there is pacing around. He is like Alex Ferguson back in the old Man United days. But now we are going to have the graphic for heat number 6. In gate 1, Max Frick. In gate 2, Adam Ellis. Gate 3, Richard Lawson. Gate 4, Ashton Bowden, the guest. So Leicester Lions have Max Frick and Richard Lawson. And the Ipswich Richies have Adam Ellis and Ashton Bowden. What do we predict here, chat? What do we reckon? Ashton Bowden's been going well. Any predictions? Tom says Bowden to beat Frick.
I mean,
Heat 5.
That run on the outside's been working well. I think realistically a 3-3 here from a Ipswich perspective would be good, but don't really pass Adam Ellis. I know he didn't have the best first race, but he can really get stuck in meetings like this. This is sort of why you get someone like Adam Ellis in your team. He doesn't tend to ever put the bike down, does Ellis? What?
Oh, it's untidy. Adam Ellis. Oh my God, from third to first. Going into bend 3, Adam Ellis. The bike of Frick is smoking like a trooper.
Yeah, Bowden's out of it, really.
And is at the back, though. I think Ipswich would have taken a 3-0 King Day. What do you think?
I think there's I think if you look at it on paper, I think the difference is that Bowden had a really good start. But if you look at it on paper, a 3-0 in this result, you take it. I mean, you're 6 points behind. You can use the aggregate. You've got a ride on Adam Ellis that seems to be riding really well. That's a really good sign for them.
Completely agree. To hold that 2-point lead as well would be really, really good with a strong pairing like Max Frick and Richard Lawson, 100%. But
Adam
Adam
Ellis
Ellis,
is a different
very
postcode.
confident.
Different postcode. In the words of Calvin Tatum, different postcode, mate.
Mm.
I'm happy with myself there because I kind of predicted that. And here's your result for heat number 6. It is Adam Ellis, your winner. Richard Lawson, second. Max Frick third. Ashton Bowden at the back, which splits the score tonight at 21-15 to the Lions. However, on aggregate, is 64 points to 62 to the Witches.
Sam said about if Bowden makes the gate here, he's gone. And 2001 Honda Civic said, well, technically, you're not wrong, Sam. Bit of trash talk in the comments. We don't get a lot of that.
I mean, by the way, can we just look at this move from Adam Ellis? Just straight lined it. Just didn't break. He was like, fuck it, I'm going
Adam
for
Ellis
it.
Brilliant there. Kelly reckons it was a 40 to the Lions. Nope. So they actually did better than people expected and got a 3-all the Ipswich Witches. Kiki says, what do you think about having helmet colours? Tom, we haven't talked about something like this. I think that it still should be in league races. I mean, in the league races, it's very easy to tell people. Thing is, before, if the colours are different, like Poole and Leicester and stuff, the colours contrast. But Poole and Workington, the Kevlar colours are very similar. That's when I think if you have contrasting Kevlar colours, if teams had 2 sets of Kevlars, an example, Poole could have blue, predominantly blue and a bit of white, and then for away have white and a little bit of blue, and they have whichever one doesn't clash with the other team. You could probably do away with the helmet colours because the hardcore who know who they are will know who it is, and the people who are new to it can just do it by the race suits. Last night, I took a friend of mine for the first time, and she said she didn't really look at the helmet colours because she looked at the race suits, and that's for somebody on their first time.
I just want to butt in real quick, mention Ty Woofenden. We just get an update from him today, which basically he had an appointment today in Poznan, done some scans, ultrasound, the bone is healing well, therefore no need for any further operation, should be good in a few months, with a tick and 4 smiling emojis, which is really good to
Lovely.
Ty.
The Ty is healing well, which is good. Which is very, very good indeed. Kingdo.
Wrong pairing here for the Witches. It's Keenan Rue off 1. It's going to be Sam Masters off 2. It's going to be Tom Brennan off 3. And I believe that is Super Sam Hagen off the outside gate. And that's before the graphic even came up. Let's see if I'm right. Oh, look at me. It's based off. It's a reserve replacement. So they've opted for Hagen over Louis Kerr here. Which is...
I'm guessing, are they throwing Hagen to the dogs to lose here so they can use. But they could have. Are they getting Hagen's last ride out the way?
Well, it's only his second ride at the minute because I think they've switched it in the last one. They put Kerr.
Oh, it's switched in feet 4, did they?
Yeah.
Right, I see. Makes sense. Okay, that does make sense.
Last time Tom Brennan and Keenan Rue went into the corner together didn't end well. Let's hope this time it's a bit better. A really good start from Rue off 1.
Well, Keenan Rue's gone. Look. Hey, what? Tommy B at the inside. Keenan Rue first, Tom Brennan second, in 3rd place and chasing.
This is perfect if you're a Witches fan, because I tell you what, Masters looks quick, but is the racing line there? All Brennan's got to do is keep it clean. Sam's down, and if he's smart,
does he stay down?
If he's smart,
he down.
Yeah, he has.
He has. This house is finest, but you need to do it.
You've got to. No, you have to respect that.
The Ipswich fans will be absolutely furious with Sam Hagen. I can't see him awarding that early.
I will tell you what, though. What I will say is that gates 1 and 3 are better. Let's actually see Sam Hagen comes in really hot here. The bottom wheel just leaves him
all over the shop.
Yeah, that's not. I will say now. I know obviously Ipswich fans might be like, "Well," but that was not intentional in any way, shape, or form.
No,
leaving the bike down was.
Staying down might have been.
Yeah, but you just need to do it. It's Team Speedway. It's Team Speedway. That's what you got to do. It's part of the rules.
It can't be worse, can it?
Like
Simon said Richie Hawkins will want to pull his hair out, but I've seen it done many a time. He didn't put the bike down on purpose. It's just what it is. Sam Davidson says, bring back the home and away Kevlar like Swindon. I didn't even know Swindon did that. I mean, it's expensive, but it would be cool to have home and away Kevlars. I think that'd be really sweet.
I mean, I'm a traditionalist. I like the helmet colours. What I will say is that I think
It's
it's
the
easier
sponsorship,
for
it's the money you can get from it, isn't it?
yeah. I think the newer fans would it be easier to distinguish with helmet colours. You know, and I also would like to think how qualifying would work in like something like the Grand Prix if you move the helmet colours. That's that sort of thing. That's just like where I go, but that's just my opinion. Are we
Kiki
awarding it,
says,
Lewis?
as you say, I think 2 cameras would be like like the colours. Yeah, I guess some people want the colours to be gone, some people like them on. I mean, sponsorship wise, I couldn't even think of the amount of money you could get of having a sponsor on your helmet. It'd probably be quite a significant amount of money. Sam Deddington again says, getting Sam's rise out the way. I think he's to say he has had a dip in form would be quite complimentary to him. I think his form's dropped off the face of the earth when he was stunning at the start of the season. I think Sam Hagen was one of the most talented young riders at the start of the season, and now his form has dipped a little bit. Kaylee says, I think the helmet colours work nicely for children new to sport. Yeah, I completely agree. But maybe you could do it, like I said, with the Kevlars, so you can have 2 different colours and make sure they don't clash. And it's like football shirts. The football shirts never clash, and people can tell who the players are and things like that in football. So I reckon that could be a way. 2001 Honda Civic says helmet colours stay, replace white with green. Yeah, that's the 4 colours. You usually have on the 4 big colours are red, blue, yellow, and green. I don't know why they ever picked white, but yeah. Tom seems to be in a right comedic mood today because he's come up with some battles. He said, "I needed Karcher as a sponsor today. Would have been good, wouldn't it?"
I don't get it.
Because it's so muddy and they could wash everything, King Day.
Well, I don't know what Karcher is.
Heat number 7, King Day.
Sorry, so it's Keenan Rue off 1, Master off 2, Brendan off 3, and no Super Sam Hagen off the outside gate.
Rerun.
And I'll tell you what, Masters made the gate. But Rue's forcing him wide. That's incredible from Keenan Rue. That's harsh from Rue in the conditions, but you got to love it. That is prime team Speedway, and Rue's in the dirt, and he's not getting washed out. That was, I tell you what, that almost went to the dogs for the Witches because that was a great start from Masters. But Rue, right there, over his age there, because that was great team racing. And Brendan just sitting nicely in the pocket, Rue on the outside line, Brendan on the inside, another doing a switch, no way through for Masters at the minute. I tell you what, 2 points deficit after 7 heats. You've got to say, not looking too bad for Ipswich, but that's the thing about being 8 points. Anyone can do it in the final lap, and Rue and Brennan are looking nice and comfortable. They've only got to get to the last 2 corners. It is still a bit tricky, but Rue is looking clean as a whistle. Brennan looks still, obviously looking muddy as fuck. And the Ipswich Witches are going to bring the deficit back up to 6 points. It's a 5-1. Keenan Rue, Tom Brennan, Sam Masters, your result. What a race that was.
Completely agree, mate. I think that will put Ipswich's fire back in their belly.
I just want to talk about how good that first corner was from Keenan Rue. Riding way above his years there in these conditions. Richie Hawkins loving that. I thought that was great from him because he had full faith the bike wasn't going to go anywhere. Full faith. There you go. Do you want to take us to the official result?
The heat result here. First place, Keenan Rue. Second place, Tom Brennan. Third place, Sam Masters. And Sam Hagen was excluded at the back. Maybe a little bit of justice for the Ipswich team there who were doing so well before the rerun was called in. But now the deficit has been reduced to 2 points on the evening and just 6 points on the aggregate.
Absolutely. That first corner from Rue, I know it's obviously in the dry, it's a really simple move. But in the wet, to do that, hold Masters up to allow Brendan to come through, I thought that was fantastic. The team riding was strong as well. Well done. Right, Carl, if it's all right, I'm going to quickly dip for a couple of minutes. So I'm going to leave you with the chat.
You dip, my boy. Right. After 7, what we got in the chat? Everyone, hit me up in the chat because it's just me now. I don't have my mate here to help me out. So any comments in the chat would be great. Sam says, fully with you, Carl. The comments about Sam, I think he should have stayed focused on the championship. So the Premier's clearly had an effect, unfortunately. Yeah, possibly. He was great when he wasn't so busy. Maybe the busyness has made him dip in form. Not too sure. Our good friend Fruit Pastor God says, comments on riders in the GP series. So he's not eating for days before meeting training lighter. Dawley commented this recently. Should they have weight limits on them like jockeys do to make it equal? Really good suggestion. Really good suggestion, Fruit Pastor God. Could they have a weight limit? Because, if it was X amount of kilos, they could be stronger and fitter and safer on the bike. Even if they had to have like boxers, they can have it where they have to weigh in at a certain weight and then can rehydrate and recarb themselves. That could be a thing as well. But then they wouldn't want to do that, would they? Because they would just get heavier. So that wouldn't work. I'm completely stupid. Kaylee, rather have weight in with the bikes plus rider weight. Current regulations only the bike. Yes. So, Kaylee, if you've missed it, what happens is the bike gets weighed. It's got a minimum weight. So it's not like F1 and stuff where they can save as much weight as they can. It's there's a minimum weight to the bike. So if you are a heavier rider, what a lot of them do is starve themselves to get the weight off to give themselves a bit of an edge. Tom says ROWE won and excluded in the same race according to the graphic. I did see that, and for a second I wondered what the fuck was going on. But yes, Kaylee also says either way the combined rider and bike weight would be ideal across the line. I'm asking Sam about it actually, because Sam knows his stuff. Sam, what do you think on the rider and bike weight combined? So i.e., if you're a heavier rider, you can have a lighter bike. If you're a lighter rider, you can have a heavier bike. It does make sense. It does make perfectly good sense to me. And it would even out the field a bit more and make it a bit more interesting. Sam's here. Sam, you have got the link, by the way. If you want to jump back in for a bit, my mate, feel free to do so. I don't think weight suits the way to go, Kaylee. Personally, I think a rider should combine weight. Yeah, I think it's the combined weight they should do. Maybe have the riders sit on the bike on the weighing scales. And there's a minimum. That could be a thing.
Sorry about coming back and coughing. I thought I was done, and then I wasn't. So many apologies.
Freddie Lingman said in an interview a lot of years ago that he's afraid that some of the younger people don't know what they're doing because of anorexia. Yeah, it's I have heard stories about engine tuners actually changing bikes. So if the rider is 2 pounds heavier, which is a kilo near enough, they tune the engine differently. So if a rider's ill and loses weight, the bike will act differently to as it's supposed to. So Sam's back. Let's get him in because he knows his shit, and we like talking to Sam. Yo, what's up?
Yo.
We're just talking about the suits. Sorry, not the suits. The
weight.
Combined weight. What do you think, mate?
Yeah, so it's actually something I spoke a lot about again during studying days of being at BSI and stuff.
Has it ever been brought forward to like a judical system?
Yeah, because I think again there is it does make me quite hard. I mean, the fact of there is a limit on the bike. It's like you say, it's 77 kilos. That's the bike as it is. Sprocket, chains, all those sort of things.
Is that wet or dry?
Dry.
So it's without fuel.
Yeah. Well, it may have changed. I can't remember what scrutiny they go through. I think some. It's again the fuel tank on a speedway bike. It doesn't add a lot. Let's be honest. I think that they're not the biggest fuel tanks in the world, but. No. It is, as I say, it's 77 kilos across the board. Now, personally, I wouldn't go down the route of say, right, you weigh the rider, and if the rider's say 5 kilos lighter than another, his bike can be 5 kilos lighter. The problem is with these bikes is they are so powerful. When you break down the numbers and they're kicking out 77 horsepower, they're technically 1,000 horsepower per ton. You know, it's a lot when you look at the power to weight ratio.
It's a Veyron, isn't it?
Yeah, basically. So you wouldn't want to make these bikes lighter because it's just going to be an incredible amount of power going through it. So I do personally think that
would that not be tamed down if the rider's heavier though? So the rider's heavier and you shave the weight off the bike. Say you shave 5 kilos off the bike and add 5 kilos to the rider. Surely would that not make the power to weight ratio still the same with the jockey on, as it were?
Yeah, but I think this is where it goes to the fact of it should be a combined weight. Personally, I always, for the last few years, I've thought it should be that. You look at riders like Leon Madsen, for example. I mean, he's tiny. He's not the tallest of blokes, and there's nothing to him. I mean, you even look at riders like Vashlik. You know, you can put your fingers around their calves. It's crazy how small they are. But when you look at riders like Keenan Rue, for example, he's a tall lad. He's quite hunched over the bike, but he's already at a natural disadvantage. So for him to kind of get to that step, he's got to find something special. Whereas, let's say he was a foot shorter and he saves that weight, he might already be there on the world stage, for example. So I
interesting.
When I look at the combined weight thing, it's something I agree with. It's just how you implement it, because at the end of the day, it's not like boxing where you train for 4 months and you have one weigh in. You know, these guys, they've got to go to all of these meetings, for example. I know it's only kind of the big meetings like Grand Prix and internationals where you have extensive scrutineering and those sort of things, but I think it's something that should be implemented kind of fairly soon, just to kind of...
So the combined weight would actually be the riders weighing on the bike, and there'd be a weight maximum for the two of them together.
Yeah, basically. So rider with helmet, kit, goggles, basically everything. And
race ready.
Yeah, basically. But then you've got to look at the fact of it. It's not like a Formula One car where you've got parameters and areas of where you can add weight. You could put a lead weight here, or let's say everyone uses a jockey as an example. It's a good way of doing it, but a jockey's got a saddle where you can add lead weights. Now you look at a speedway bike, and when you take covers off a speedway bike, there's not a lot to it.
No,
so is it going to be a case
of BMX, really, isn't it, with an engine?
Yeah, basically. But where are the riders going to want a lead weight put on their bike? You're not going to want it over the front end, because it's going to then kind of move your weight off the back wheel as such. And I know there's such small things, but you look at these riders, they search for the smallest parameters and like titanium bolts, and if they can save a gram, they're saving a gram. So it's something that would have to be heavily researched, I think. But I agree with the comments.
But we're going to Heat 8 anyway now. 22 to the Lions, 3 to the Witches, and the lineup goes like this: Dan Thompson on the inside, Sam Hagan on gate number 2, Danny King on 3, and Lawson on 4. But whilst they are gardening, Sam, it's fucking interesting, isn't it? Like, I mean, you don't want riders starving themselves, because you don't want. It's almost like using PEDs, isn't it? It's like you don't want it to be who can starve themselves the most, because if there's a rider who doesn't eat in his skin, Mikkelsen, mate. Have you seen him? Like, he is like,
it's crazy. Yeah, it's absolutely insane. But it's not just that. I mean, they're handling these powerful machines, but they're training. The days they're not riding, they're training. Whether they're cycling, they're in the gym, and those sort of things. It's mad what their body goes through. So to say that they're not eating correctly and those sort of things. And I think it's been quite an insight for me with GB is, you got all your nutritionists and those sort of things. So seeing what they talk about and how to nutrition your body and hydrate your body correctly, and even talking to Chris Neville about like what they lose in their body during a speedway meeting, and how to get those electrolytes back and those sort of. It's crazy. You think they go for 4 heats in 4 minutes and what they lose, but it's crazy.
Yeah, mate.
Tell you what, Ipswich on a 5-1 here at the minute.
Here are sticking the screw in.
This will give a 10-point lead on aggregate, if I'm not mistaken. And with only 7 heats to go, a 10-point gap. Oh, Danny King's gone down. He needs to get up. Is he going to get up in time? Yes, he's back up and running.
He's riding as well, just in case it's a foul.
We love that from the captain. But tell you what, Dan Thompson, this is great. I mean, that is kind of from an Ipswich perspective that could come back to bite them. But Dan Thompson doing really well at the number 7 position tonight. Richard Lawson settled in second spot and Hagen settled in third. They've taken Danny King off the graphic, which I think is a bit unfair because he's still going. But Dan Thompson going to take the checkered flag.
He certainly will. And that will put
Drama.
25 to the Leicester Lions, 23 to the Ipswich Witches, 66 pace, 72 overall.
Indeed.
This thing, it goes back to what we said at the start of reserves can win you meetings. And I think, like I say, Dan Thompson, he kind of, I said it before, if you look at him at SON2, he can ride wet tracks.
Absolutely.
You can.
Just confirmation there. Dan Thompson, your winner. Richard Lawson second. Sam Hagen third. Danny King at the back, which was the score at 25.
After going down, maybe.
The Lions. And the aggregate score is 66-72 to the Witches.
Faye harshly says Danny has to go. I think he was trying.
I don't think he did anything wrong. I mean, I know that, and we know the Jarretts aren't big King supporters.
Nice to see you, Kiki. I know you got a few comments in the comment section, but we are a little bit delayed because of the racing pushing through. But have a good evening, my friend. Tom says a racing snake, as Kevin would say. Completely agree. He also says, if we go down the route of equal rider weights, will the shorter riders have to wear stilts to be equal height? No, I think the idea would be that basically the thinner riders will be encouraged to beef up a bit. Sam, would you say?
Yeah, I think again, research would come into play as to what the equal ground's going to be. But yeah, if you're basically saying is you combine weight is say a 77 bike and Leon Madsen, then instantly that's going to be an unfair balance. So you need to find kind of a middle ground that they can all work to.
I mean, would you say get a? I'm guessing they would get X amount of probably 80% of the height. So you got the tallest and then the lowest, 80% of the way up. Healthy weight by a doctor, and have that as an over the board. So if you are mega tall, you have to dial back a little bit, and if you are short, you can get in the gym and pack on a bit of muscle. I guess that's the sort of road it'll get down.
Yeah, but again, is it a case of we're putting all the demand on the body and not the bikes? This is the way I would look at it. Is I think the bike's more versatile. Does Speedway need to be that dramatic in the fact of we need to say to these riders, actually, you're too skinny or you're too fat? You know, is it a case of we can alter these machines to do it? And I think there's going to come a point where I think the FIM or whoever it is going to start looking at potential changes for Speedway. I think with the machinery.
Kingdo, do you want to do the lineup for heat number 9, my friend?
Number 9 was Adam Ellis off the inside gate, Luke Becker off 2, Aston Bowden off 3, and Sam Masters off 4. I'll tell you what, this is probably your strongest pairing at Leicester as a 2 combined. But I have a feeling, Ellis, I just think he's up for it tonight. I feel like he loves the conditions.
I'm going to put you two on for a second, so I need to go for a wee. So
right.
I'm going to have it. So
I'm on live. Well, I'm on Discovery Plus, so I'm slightly behind.
That's all right.
I'll let you take the lead.
Well, Sam Masters packed up here. There's a little spoiler for you. He's got 5 seconds. He's not going to get to the tapes in time.
He's not.
And I'm off the screen.
Oh, fucking hell. Where are we?
Masters,
why you there?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Carl just doesn't want to leave the screen. Carl just doesn't want to go.
Mate, it's just like an absolute Tommy Fumble, isn't it?
There you go. There you go. We're good now.
Right,
but no, so it's going to be... Chat, who do you reckon it'll be? Do you reckon it'll be Hagen or Kerr? I'm going to go Kerr.
It would have to be.
I don't think either of them are that great, though. I think that really does lend itself to the Witches, Sam.
Yeah, it's... But again, it's the typical thing of Speedway. I mean, you look at Sam's mechanical failure on Monday night and another one now. But It's the thing with speedways, you never know, is that a rider error or a mechanical error, or but again, these bikes work on such fine margins. It can be the smallest of thing, especially when they're so wet and you're running a dry clutch and chains have got to be clean, and there's the smallest of error can be kind of overlooked, especially when a meeting like this is they're not doing a lot of track grading, there's not many breaks, so this is a nightmare for a mechanic. I feel for him. I was watching Carl Cummins pick up Tom's bike from the mud when Tom slipped off in Heat 3, and you could just see the grimace on his face of thinking, "Oh God, here we go."
Yeah, especially on these playoff nights as well, because they're the unsung heroes. But if something goes wrong, they're thinking shit. So let's quickly look at the comments though, because we had a few. So Faye saying, "I watched Ty's podcast yesterday. Shouldn't have to lose safety stuff to lose more weight. It's not so." I agree. I think it's actually batshit that we live in a world in which that is something that goes on. I understand why it happens, but I think it should be more regulated, especially with how good the world events are. But just to update you guys, heat number 9, the lineup now is Adam Ellis off 1, Luke Becker off 2, Ashton Bowden off 3, and Louis Kerr, who's come in for Masters off 4. Also, Alex, come back. I'm back. And you guys said Louis Kerr. Faye, it shouldn't be allowed to happen. I think it's mental. That the fact that someone doesn't eat for 3 days before a GP, fucking ridiculous. That's crazy to me. But here we go. Heat number 9. Lots of pressure on the riders. I'll tell you what, it was a great start again from Adam Ellis. And Ashton Bowden's actually got round here, but he's kind of
Bowden's. Oh, they'll be inside.
There's Luke Becker at the inside of Adam Ellis. There, I'll tell you what, a 4-2 here is not the worst result in the world. But it definitely, does swing the pendulum back in the way of the witches.
Well, it doesn't, does it? Because it's a 4-2 to the Lions.
No, the Lions.
I was like, is he watching the same heat as me?
Oh, yeah, no, that's not my day, is it?
No, we're good, bro. We're good.
But yeah, no. Really good stuff. Alice had a good start, but Becker just looks good out in front. I'll tell you what, I think a 4-2, if you're Ipswich, you wouldn't be too upset by that. Looking at the lineup that Leicester originally had. Could this go down to an extra heat, boys? I kind of got that vibe about it tonight.
Yeah, I haven't got a programme in front of me, but I think gates are going to be key. I think
100%.
1 and 3 are gonna matter. I think Heat 13, 15, 1 and 3 is going to be where it is. Even for me, when I watched the Heat with ROWE and Brenham, I know obviously it was rerun, but both times ROWE did something incredibly clever, of which he made the gate off the inside and pushed the rider in too wide, and that's a team play there, to pull that off. And I think needs to be done a little bit more, I reckon, to kind of see this through.
Kudos to ROWE at 21 as well, doing that sort of shit. It's good, very good to see.
Yeah, I'm a really big fan of Keenan ROWE. I say for the same reason I'm a big fan of Victor Lampard and things like that. I like these younger international riders coming over because I think the teams can really embed them into their squads. And I think ROWE is the exact, like the article of that is that he's come into Ipswich. He's been there last year. He's only got better this year. He's only going to get better next year, and hopefully you keep him the year after that, and he just only gets better.
Really
same thing with hopefully Lampard at Birmingham
this year. Really surprised he sat out the SGP2. So I feel that if he had ridden the SGP2, Keenan ROWE quite possibly could have been World Under-21 champion this year. But the top 3 would have been Ratakach, Bladorn and ROWE, in my opinion, in the Under-21s in the SGP2, and all 3 of them aren't riding. Which is, I know it's politics and Speedway, but I would say they would have been the top 3.
Yeah, it's up there. I think, he's got not to have the best riders in that kind of category.
ROWE could have won it last year. Should Chernak have fucked it up even worse than he did? So,
I do think that last year's SGP2 has been a bit better than this year's, but that's just my personal opinion as well. I think you've seen a bit more.
It's a good mix of riders. I think again, the poles will always be dominant. I think you look at the point of anywhere from whether it's under-19s, under-21s, under-23s, they're always going to be. They
are there or thereabouts always. Tom Brennan, Richard Lawson,
Keenan
ROWE, and Max Frick.
Tell you what, this is not a bad, especially with the Witch off 1 and 3. This isn't a bad lineup for him.
But again, I think this goes back to the comment I just made is Tom's got to be clever here. Tom's got to, if Tom Gates, which I know he can do, he's just got to give that push to Richard Lawson here, and if Keenan's clever, he looks under the inside. I think there's a chance here. You've just got to capitalise on gate 1.
Yeah. This has been a very good tie. This over the 24 heats seen already. It's only going to get better. Heat number 10, here we go.
Masters looks devastated. What a start on the inside!
Oh
my God!
Roos down.
Roos down.
Is he going to get up? Because Brennan is in the lead.
Brennan's at the front. Is Roo going to move it?
They put the red light on. They put the red light on.
Oh, tell you what.
He couldn't get the bike out.
Oh.
That's gutting.
Oh my God, his feelings just begun.
It's just begun.
That's almost as if I've given us the DJ music to play.
No, you didn't do that, did you? No, it couldn't be you.
Yeah, I did, yeah. What have we got in here? So Tom's got an interesting statistic here. He says 4 wins for gate 1, 3. Oh, right, so 4 wins for gate 1, 3 for gate 2, 1 for gate 3 and 4. So you've got to be on the inside.
Yeah, but I think naturally it goes down to conditions, and a track like Leicester is gates 3 and 4 are going to be the riding line. They're gonna get worn out. As you're coming down the back straight, you're going to ride over both those gates. So it takes that away, but also it is a long way from 4. No matter kind of what track you're on, it's a long way from 4, and in wet conditions. Yeah. Unless you've made a blinder, it's tough to do. So, yeah.
I mean, when you look at sports like the Olympics, I know it's different, but when you have an 800-meter start, it's got that slight curve, hasn't it? So the outside has got where you're allowed to cut back to the middle in the running racing, you can start a little bit further ahead. I don't know if that would work in Speedway where you have the gates tipped slightly. Again, it's all fantasy, but
again, you look at a Speedway track. If you've got a track like, okay, let's take Torrens, for example. You come off gate 4, you stick it in the banking, you've naturally got more speed anyway.
Yeah,
so
very true.
I think it's just you got to take into consideration the weather conditions, and it's one of those, unfortunately.
It certainly is. Anyway, same again. Tom Brennan, Richard Lawson, Max Frick. So Ipswich are just one rider again. They've ridden with one rider in what, 3 of the 10 hits?
Quite a few rides now.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll tell you what, Brennan made a good start. He's going to have to again. I think Frick off 4 now without a Keenan Roo could be advantageous. Without a rider there in front of him, it could make it a lot more interesting.
Well, you've got 2 Paul Heat leaders here, Carl, so you've got to pick one or the other.
I'll tell you what, Brennan, I've got bags of time with Brennan. I think he's a top fella.
Yeah, lovely bloke.
Really good guy. I wish him all the best. But Lawson's relentless, isn't he?
He is, but I think
is it going to be Tom Brennan again?
It is going to be Tom Brennan again. He has. He's got away.
Max Frick and Richard Lawson probably 7 bike lengths behind.
He's already in that other postcode. I'll tell you what, I know you say it's a Calvin line, Carl, but that is the exact word you use in that one. He's off.
And to do that to Max Frick, who is borderline unbeatable at Leicester, Tom Brennan is absolutely steaming it.
Yep. And you have to realise as well, Ipswich they have Jan, who hasn't done well tonight. But if he can get that bike going as well in the last 2 heats he's got, could be quite good for the Witches. And Danny King's at the dab hand. Obviously he fell down, but he had good pace. So it's not going to be easy for Leicester going into these last 5 heats. I'll tell you that.
All around me.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
I thought it was too.
Phone was ringing.
And Tom Brennan takes a checkered flag in emphatic fashion. That was incredible. Tommy B. A man who's come of age this year. I don't know whether you guys agree. I think he's really stepped up this year massively.
I honestly, the other thing I'm having the South Coast sway, but I do think it's Ryan at Poole. He's so happy at Poole. He loves it, mate. And I'll tell you something, if people are watching, as we know, the things with the Polish league is changing. Tom Brennan, Max Frick, Richard Lawson in that order, Keenan Rick at the back, by the way. But if things do change, I know we're hearing rumours of the Premiership days being Mondays and Wednesdays. And if at pure fantasy that Poole are forced up, because when they changed their race day last time, it decimated the crowd. I would say that Tom would stay at Poole.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I'm not shaking trees, Sam. I'm not shaking trees, bro. Sam, what do you know?
Yeah, I've heard the same in regards to race nights having to change, and it's one. I think it's going to shake up a lot of. I think there'll be a lot of chopping and changing of riders going here, there, and everywhere, really, because it's going to be who does what with clubs. But I think that the leagues do need a shake. It could be a good thing to kind of encourage teams to want to be back in the Premiership. And
well, again, if I ever hear anything through official channels, I never say a word ever. But from fan rumours, I've heard a rumour that Oxford are going to drop the Championship, just run NDL and Premiership. I've heard that. That's no exclusive to anybody watching. That's just what I've heard through fans, not through being an official for the Grand Prix or Poole Pirates.
Yeah, no, of course.
I've also heard rumours that Poole have toyed with the idea of going up, but I've also heard rumours that Poole said they will definitely not go up. So it's either one or.
It's Speedway, though, isn't it? I think it's everyone that's involved in Speedway knows that you hear things, and things don't happen and everything else. But going back to Tom, I mean, I've spent a lot of time with him this year, both at Poole and on Great Britain events, and this isn't the first year I've spent time with Tom. I've done it in previous seasons, but this year I've seen a different person. I don't know what's changed or
happy rider.
Yeah, but I think just his mentality is quite sensational this year, and I've done it before. Obviously, I do all the filming and stuff, and I think we were in Stralsund a few weeks ago, and after practice, came straight up to me and was like, "Did you video my starts? Can I have my starts? I want to watch my starts." And like all this sort of things just to kind of push himself and want to be better.
And then, now.
Yeah, and I went out. Oh, there we go.
I'll tell you what, have you ever seen that guy with that smile on his face?
No.
I'll tell you something. He my nephew had his birthday party, and he asked my sister if he could have a party at Poole Speedway, and he got so ferociously ill that he had to cancel bringing his mates to Poole Speedway, and he was gutted on the sofa, spewing up, disgusting. I said to Tom Brennan, "Jim, can you do me a favour?" I never ask anything. I never ask for pictures of riders, favours from riders, anything. And I said, "Can you just send him a message and say, look, chin up, mate. There's another week next week. You can come and do it again." Tom Brennan replied, "Would you mind if I waited till the next grading break because I'm watching the Speedway?" He literally thought I was telling him to do it now. And he was like, he thought it was too much to be like, "Oh, is it okay if I wait till the next grading break?" Like, so polite, such a nice. And his missus as well, by the way, Kristen, is absolutely lovely. She sits with me and Alice every week at Poole. She's really nice, really positive. But yeah, Tom Brennan, this hope he has a big future. And Heat 11, do you want to read the Heat 11?
Yeah, very quickly. Bless Kristen, because I remember the week I was there instead of Alice, and she was sat there listening to our absolute random shit that we speak for a couple of hours.
I had to watch me carry you up the stairs.
Yeah. Anyway, it's Max Frick off 1, Yankovic off 2. It's Louis Kerr off 3, which is so I guess I don't know how this works with Louis Kerr being in, and off the outs off. But Frick rides. Because Frick's in for Douglas. I'll do it. And then it's Danny King off 4. Sorry.
So at the moment, Tom Brennan is on a paid max, by the way, as a guest rider. If it's a guest, I mean, that's doily territory, isn't it?
Yeah. 100%. And I think, again, you guys have spent so much more time. I think he's a really good person to have in the camp because, like you say, he's always positive. He always wants to strive for better. He never sits on his ass. And does it. He always try and lift the team up and do everything he can to get the most.
You know, he does that everywhere. I mean, I've seen him on so many events where he does that and he plays that role so well.
Oh, he's gone down. And Quebec again.
It's Quebec again. I don't know if he got hit there though that time.
Strawberry Jam is having the worst night of his life. He has gone from loving British Speedway to fucking detesting it in one night.
Surely he went down that time. There. Surely he looks a bit hurt though.
It's quite a nasty fall when you look at it. I think the way he's gone down, it's almost like twisted his leg a little bit.
Obviously, it's not really a joke for our part, but me and Carl obviously say we're part of the Strawberry Jam fan club. But I think we'll forget how young Quebec is.
Not me and you.
Are you not part of the Strawberry Jam fan club? Wow, ridiculous.
Couldn't care less.
Yeah, there's contact. There's contact there.
I'm all in.
I think that if you forget how young Jan is, like he's younger than me. Like I think people expect to be at this pinnacle at the Grand Prix level, which I just don't think he's going to be yet. But there is contact there. Yeah, that should be all four back.
Yeah, it's got to be all four.
I should be all four back in the yellow card for Max Frick for taking time for
interesting one here, random as well. Since we got a little bit of a break here, and people are watching. And I'll tell you what, it's not just for me, Sam, and King though. This goes out for anybody watching. 21 Honda Civic has tapped into my domain and has said, if you three were riders in the SGP, what song would you choose after you won a heat? And this goes down not to just us three. Anybody who's watching in the comment section, if you were a Speedway Grand Prix rider and you won a race, what would you have as your winning song? And if you want to sort of go into it a little bit, why would that be your song? I'm going to go Kingdo first because I know this, because we actually chatted about Steaming one time.
I was thinking of a different one. I was thinking, do I go for? I'm going to have two.
Because if you were a Grand Prix rider, you wouldn't be in a wheelchair, would you?
Yeah, but it's about who I am now, mate. Why are you saying that so people can't compete in sport? What the fuck are you talking about? How dare you? If I was a cripple and could ride a bike, I would have 500 miles by the Proclaimers. Get the crowd going, duh, duh, after I win. That would be what I pick.
That is a crowd pleaser.
That would be what I would pick. You know, at that point as well, get the crowd going, duh, duh.
What do you have,
that would be on.
I'm going to just go off of the fact of it's kind of a recent trend and everything for me, but I would go "Don't Look Back in Anger" by Oasis. Like it's a classic. I'm a massive Oasis fan.
Get tickets?
Fans as well.
You get tickets?
Yeah.
Yes, lads. I know.
Yeah.
I think I would go for. Again, I change it every season because music's my thing. But I think if I was a Grand Prix rider, I would be the absolute wanker that had Pedro. I'd lean the bike over, do donuts, and do the raccoon thing. And if you get a camera coming nice and close, and I go around the camera going.
No, mate. If you wore a GoPro, if you wore like a GoPro, and you could just flip it as you were doing celebrations, you could
have like a 360 cam on the
360 on it, yeah.
Yeah, so
you would be the biggest shit house all the Speedway if you stop the bike on like turn 3 to park up.
You've got to get the bikes to get in so you get the next race going. I'm there going, Pedro. What else you got? Some of the guest is doing it for Team Quebec. It's not, but Quebec did the business on Monday. So
and also Quebec's my boy. It's Fruit Pastel. You're on thin ice, son.
Nevson says just like the chat around Lynn that Robert's back next year, but it feels like hearsay every year. Yeah, I get it. I think Robert Lambert's got quite a close connection to Kingston, isn't he? Obviously, his family are local. He's been there as a schoolboy and things like that. We all hear the rumours as well of potential GP riders come back to the British League and stuff. I mean, Robert Lambert at one point, if Tyler's coming back, Robert's got to, even if he's at the top of his game. I know he only had a 1-year deal in Sweden. Is there potential for Robert to do Poland and Britain rather than Poland and Sweden? Because Sweden seems to be a league that's on the decline. And even though we've hit like rock bottom in Great Britain, it seems like the British League is coming up. Do you not feel so?
Yeah, it is indeed. But I think from a rider's mentality, I think there's a lot of factors of why they don't want to ride here. For example, I think you look at the broad spectrum of riders. So like a 1 to 7 in the UK, for example, you've kind of got quite a lot of abilities in there. Whereas I think you look at a Polish, like you take Roslav, for example, you've got 7 riders that could quite easily go and compete in a Grand Prix.
And any of those riders could probably be a number 1 in the UK, couldn't they?
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's the difference of, you know, to go out there and do what these boys do. You've got to have confidence. And I remember I was chatting to Dan Bewley at Speedway Nations, and the connection. I was talking to him about kind of the chemistry he's got with Robert Lambert, and it was a fact of they both said they fully trust each other when they're riding the bike. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what move they pull, or if one of them's lifted and is a little bit out of shape, they trust that the other one's going to kind of do that. But I think there's a lot of riders in the British League. Again, I'm not going to sit here and slag them off because they do a lot better than I would do. But there's a lot that, you know, if something goes wrong, they lift, it's a bit uncontrollable, that they won't react or kind of do things that other riders trust. So I feel like you look at it, a lot of injuries do take place in the UK. Like you look at Doyley's crash. I know there's incidents and things happen. You look at Tate's crash and it happens. It's Speedway, unfortunately, but I feel like that's quite an added factor of the fact of you're riding in a Grand Prix, you're competing for, you know, a gold medal, or like Robert's, you know, chasing a medal this year. Is he willing to take that risk to come and ride at a dodgy or a wet Sheffield or something like that? You know, it's quite a lot to take in consideration, but also the logistics. You've got to have bikes here. You've got to have staff here.
Thing is, if you're the top boys, I mean, the top 6, you can quite easily afford to have bikes here and there. 2 seconds, go for the lineup for Heat 11. Alex, is yours?
Max Frick, Jan Kovac, Louis Kurt, Danny King. Randomly, I have to say that 2 and 4 worked really well for the Ipswich on the first run. Jan Kovac actually made a really good start, so interesting how this one goes now.
Yeah, Sam, like I was saying, the thing is, if you've got the money and have the bikes here, I know that there's the logistics of having one set of bikes in Poland and Sweden. You can drive between the two. Fucking long way from Sweden to Poland, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't.
If you've driven through Sweden, which I'm sure you have, as I have, it's massive. It's not like it's so big. And if you have to go to a track in the north of Sweden from Poland, it's a long way. It's probably easy to fly in Stansted and have bikes here. Anyway, heat number 11.
So what, Frick's made a good one, but he's gone a bit wide. And running the mid track there is Jan Kovac and
Frick's gone.
Louis Kerr, though, is currently in third, but Danny King's trying to run the outside line. Is there enough there? Can he do it? Kovac up the inside of Frick as well. It's all getting a bit tight.
Oh, my God. It's getting a bit mental here.
Kovac's on the... He wants it. He wants to try. He's not throwing the towel in, bless him. But I tell you what, if you're Richie Hawkins or Chris Louis, you maybe say, mate, it's fine, chill out. We'll take the 2 points. We'll take that back. And, you know, maybe if you're Danny King, you go for it. Because Danny King's trying, he's gone off again. Does he keep the bike down? It's going to be awarded anyway, even if he does. So he may as well get up. I'd very like to run straight away, but that will be awarded. It will be 4-2. I like to think. Got some great bits in the chat going on though, Carl. So since you,
we'll go through it in a second.
Danny King looks okay, holding his arm a little bit, but seems to be up on his feet.
I know that
into the wars.
Will be in the chat now about Danny King. How far behind are you, Sam?
I'm probably about 10 seconds.
So that's not a lot.
It's nothing crazy.
So we've got in here, just like the chat around. Yeah, so a few of these songs they've awarded, by the way, Max Frick, Jan Kovac, Louis Kurt, in that order, 4-2 to the Lions. Kingdo, do you want to go with Honda Civic first of all?
I'd have Firestarter by The Prodigy. I can't say I know what that song is myself.
You're a complete fucking loser.
I can't say.
That's an iconic song. I mean, fair play, it would work.
I might know it if I heard it. It might be one of those I wouldn't know the name of it, and if I heard it,
you'll know his name, Carl. And I think he's dead now. But the lead singer of The Prodigy used to be a massive Speedway fan.
Keith, I nearly said Leon Flynn. his name's Keith Flynn.
Did you ever watch the video he did with Monster? He
did a lap round, a few laps around Cardiff.
Yeah, he ran and rode around Cardiff. It was a quality video. I think he's still out there.
He killed himself, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but yeah, he was a massive Speedway fan. And yeah,
he was in Prodigy. It was a pre-show for Cardiff.
Yeah, mate,
sick.
That'd be pretty good.
30 and 77, 79. I'll tell you what, it's closing up. Right at the business end of the meeting, by the way.
2 points in it, 4 races to go.
As a neutral, it's class. Nice to see Doyle getting stuck in, even though he can't ride. Completely agree, Kaylee.
Loves the club. Tom, go fuck yourself. That's a funny line, but no.
A fruitless night for the strawberry jam. Well, he was all right there, boy.
No.
Pastor also says,
that's a good tune.
On fire. Good choice. And he also says a sticky end there for strawberry jam.
Oh, look. I was going to say a joke there, but I'm not going to. I was going to say a joke, but I'm not going to.
Amy said, around the track must be improving a little or adapting to these UK tracks.
I'm not having the Jan slander in the chat, people.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's a fair comment, but also an unfair comment of saying these European riders struggle here. I think, in all fairness, if this is an extra league meeting and the track's as wet as it is, it doesn't start. It doesn't happen.
Really?
Don't get me wrong, I've seen incredible work done on these tracks. I think 2018, the year I was at the Grand Prix, was Like the rain we had at so many venues was just a nightmare. And I think we had about an hour and a half delay to prepare the track, and that there was a point when I looked at it and was like, this was, Paul on a Wednesday night. It's ridden on half an hour ago. But they won't ride it until it's a fact of they know that 4 riders are going to get round it and it's raceable.
Well, did you know that, touch wood, since Discovery have taken over, there's not been a single rain off?
No, but which is good. But again, it's Speedway, isn't it? It's
I mean, that's luck. That's not because of the track covers may help. I know they carry track covers now, which in Prague did help because it was biblical rain in Prague. But I think the rain offs are a big turn off. I know there's only 2 sports in Britain that get rained off. It's cricket and Speedway. So that is, I think, and that's why the Hearns and Matchroom said they would never get involved in Speedway. It's because they're massive cricket fans, and so they'll never get involved in an outdoor sport that can be cancelled because of the weather.
Yeah, it's the unpredictability. But again, it's like you say, rain-offs they're catastrophic in a way, because at the end of the day, you've got a refund
financially massively.
Yeah, you've got a refund like 80 to 90% of your paying customers. You've got TV rights things to then sort out, and we always used to have a problem of if there was a rain-off of, it's not just you paying everyone back or sorting kind of TV out to try and make sure the show is aired on a Sunday. You've got flights that have got to be changed for all your staff. You've got extra hotels for the night.
I heard a rumor, a whisper, and again, not through my official channels. I'm just saying to everybody here, if it was official and I heard it from the horse's mouth, I wouldn't say anything. These are rumors. Every day that a Grand Prix is pushed back through Discovery costs €500,000. So if you did Prague, if they couldn't run it on the Saturday, it pissed it down the Sunday and moved it to the Monday, it's €1,000,000.
Yeah, and it's nuts.
Lot of dough, mate. Lot of dough.
Yeah, but again, I think the thing is a lot of people don't realise is as a sole promoter, you've got to find those funds, whether that be sponsorship or funded by something else. And I think that's where it was a massive eye opener for me at BSI, because again, I went there with a lot of Speedway knowledge, but I didn't go there it's the first time I'd ever worked fully on a world championship. But being thrown in at that deep end and realising we're on this tight budget, because at the end of the day, we only get to spend what we make, or what we're paid by a sponsor or certain things. And you look at the cost, I mean, like prize money, for example, that's not paid by the FIM or paid by a sponsor. That's got to come from the promoter and those sort of things. And the things like that you don't realize a cost of running an event. And then you've got things like opening ceremonies. And I know it's you want to do the best you can at all of these events, but obviously Cardiff being the biggest one. But you look at like the cost of certain things of running like an opening ceremony, things like spotlights and pyro, and it's suddenly you look at it and go, well, my budget's already gone and I'm not even halfway through planning what I want to plan, but you can't. And this is the thing, I think a lot of Speedway fans think that these things are endless. And I think that's where British Speedway is getting better, because they're creating more of a show. I think that it's still got a long way to go to compete with the way kind of Discovery do it or BSI used to do it. But I think it's getting better in that aspect. But again, it's the sheer cost. Unless you've got,
you can see now with the backlights and the sponsor board and stuff, it looks better. It's improving. Thing is, there's not a lot of budget there, from what I hear, and they're doing what they can with the budget they can. And as soon as the budget increases, because British Speedway, believe it or not, is on the rise. It's getting bigger. The numbers are getting bigger. The money's getting bigger. The turnout's getting bigger. I think we hit rock bottom just after COVID. It was going downhill for a while anyway, but COVID really fucked it big stuff. But
but I think you've got to look at the people that have made willingly want to make a change. I think a big shout goes to people like Phil Morris.
100%. Phil Morris. I think Phil Morris is one of the biggest reasons British Speedway is prospering.
Yeah, but to take that step and push it like he has is awesome. It's good that he's kind of at the forefront of that. It's the same, I think, with Rob Painter and Vicky at GB. When they took over it, I think, again, a lot of people don't realise as to kind of what those two do for Great Britain. I'll let
just
you do
I'm going to jump in and say Heat 12, Masters, Thompson, Kurt and ROWE. by the way. But yeah, I didn't know who Rob and Vicky were until the Nations this year. I was sat at a table having a laugh with this lady and this bloke coming along and sit down. I was just like the most normal of people. And John Smith actually said to me, he said, "That's Rob and Vicky." I was like, the most normal people you could ever meet. Honestly, the most down-to-earth, grounded people.
Yeah, but what they've done for
look at the GB setup. The GB setup has gone from like amateur backroom up into some of the sponsors they've got. Even I look at it and go, not even I, and I'm important, but I look at it and go, how have you got some sponsors like the Sun, Kappa, and things like that? Like, they know what they're doing. Heat 12, tapes go up now.
So Dan Thompson has made the start.
Oh my God.
Roo's down again. Roo's got to get up. He's got to get up this. He's got to get up. We've got to get up this time. Sure, he's not going to get up in time. He knows he's not.
Oh, he's trying. It's too thick. He can't. Yeah. He's fuming.
That's gutting.
I don't know if you... obviously, I'm only just seeing the crash, but if you look at the replay of that start, have a look at Sam Masters' bike on gate 1. When he drops that clutch, watch the first thing that bike does in his back wheel.
They cut it out there, but I will have a look.
Before it went forward, the bike went left.
Ooh.
It did. It went outwards, didn't it?
But I spotted that on live, but that shows you how critical a start is of getting it right, whether it's in the rut or whatever else. But it's that wet on the start that they're slipping that way.
Yeah, because he literally just turned as he was going. If he started the same time as gate 2, he probably would have smashed straight through it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's quickly going back to GB. Like you say, it's gone from amateur of where you never had anyone looking the same, wearing dodgy race jackets and all this and that, to what they are now. And the thing I love about it is it's like every event, no matter if it's nations or an under-19s, everyone looks the same. Everything is the same, and it's
is
so
there not
uniform.
sort of like conflict between the personal sponsors and the team sponsors? So, say if you're Tom Brennan, you're wearing the GB outfit, and you get paid, let's just go spitball crazy, £1 million from Coca-Cola. Are Coca-Cola not saying "fuck me"? Why are you not wearing my? Or does it exclude international?
There's basically, I think there's agreement. I don't know the ins and outs, but there's an agreement with every rider that they can have a certain amount of their own sponsors on the left-hand back, like the back panel.
Oh, they have got their own section. So if
they
have
got their own section.
Vodafone, Monster, McDonald's, you can have it on there still.
Yeah, I think as long as it doesn't conflict with any of GB's actual sponsors, like they're not like an insurance company and another insurance company, for example. But yeah, they have their own section.
Here we go, guys. Rerun of
Here we go
12.
for the rerun.
Can Dan Thompson do it again? Not the same start. You can get a second here. You can get a second here. Won't be too bad, but Louis Kerr's in the dirt line. Doesn't work for him, though. But Dan Thompson's going to give it everything here. We saw what he did trying to go up the inside of Max Frick. He will give absolutely 100% here. And he's ready tonight.
But this would level the meeting up, wouldn't it? On aggregate.
It would level the scores up, yeah. Going into it in 13, you've got Frick and Becker, I believe, versus Kvek and Adam Ellis. That's going to be looking at that. You got to hope the gates go in the better way. You got to look in the way
1 and 3 again, I think.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Tell you what, though, because which is, I'm not going to say luck as in they've been unlucky and they've been against them, but the way they've fallen off the riders and how the fact they're still in this is incredible. Great effort to them. We're down to the last 3 races. It's going to be level aggregate. This has been a great tie overall. I
agree. I mean, going to the last 3 with it being dead level, is especially for the neutral and TV perspective, is really good.
100%. I don't. I think Sam could be right though. Whoever's got the pick in 15, especially, that could be.
Do we know who won the toss at the start?
I can't remember. I can't remember
either.
Yeah, I think 15. What's the lineup for 14?
Oh fuck! Well, that was good night.
It'll be Brennan and Bowden versus Becker, and I assume I'll put Louis Kerr.
So again, it's who can take the advantage there. You know, if it's It's yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
I feel-
It's nice that it's close, but it's a shame that it's very first corner in my eyes.
Yeah. It's not prime Speedway, is it?
No.
I mean,
I think the drama.
even if it's not about the racing. It's still about the gating. It's still an even playing field, isn't it?
And the drama, I think, has been top draw tonight. I like that. The you see the shots of the pits on nights like this are actually fucking incredible to see. Like everyone rallying around each other. I think one of our commenters said, seeing Jason Doyle get involved, working on the bikes, those shots are really cool. You don't always see that in British Speedway every week in, week out. Whereas on these nights, we see everyone getting involved. It's all you can feel the atmosphere. The atmosphere is thick. It's one of those. But we get ready for heat number 13. It'll be Jankovic on the inside gate, Max Frick off gate number 2. Adam Ellis, solid night for him, off gate number 3. And Luke Becker doing the rider replacement role this time, off gate 4. Kvek's got a gate and go here, you feel? Because Frick will be on him.
It's just making gate 1 work, I think. I mean, you can see that Masters got it wrong first time and nailed it second time. But when you look at those ruts off gate 1, I don't think any rider would want to be stuck in them at the moment.
Yeah. This is gonna be a crazy one, I think. I mean, realistically, if Ipswich get a heat advantage here, I think the tempo of the match changes drastically.
Yeah.
Even if it's a 4-2, you think shit. I just think obviously because you've got riders like Kvek. They've only got 2 points. We haven't really seen what you can do tonight. Do you know what I mean? Like he's fallen off once and packed up once and then got a second. So it's not as easy knowing what he's done. But here we go. We'll get ready for heat number 13. Kvek off 1, Frick off 2. Those are going to be people that we're going to be looking at off the tapes. Tapes rise. I tell you what, Frick's made a great start, but Ellis doesn't look too bad. Ooh, big crash. I don't. Is that going to be first Ben bunching? In fact, because Frick was out of control there.
And I sense that Max Frick could be in trouble here.
I was going to say. What do you think, Sam?
I don't think it's first Ben. I don't think it's malicious. I think there is contact.
But like, if Keenan goes though, oh no, he does. He snakes into ROWE though. He's not in control and goes into ROWE into Kvek. He's not in control. His bike's snaking.
Is it the contact between the two that's?
Oh, he might get lucky.
No, because Max is in front. Max hasn't lifted because of Kvek. Kvek's not moved, so it's a tough. I would compare it to a decision made earlier on in the fact of. I think if consistency is key with decisions like this, I think if ROWE was excluded earlier for the Brennan thing, I think Frick should go here personally.
Yeah, 100%.
If Frick doesn't, I feel for Richie Hawkins.
I think Richie Hawkins' blood pressure will be through the roof, mate. I'll tell you that right now.
Because do you think it was the gate 1 that done it though?
Oh, Richie's on the walkie-talkie. We're not on the phone. We're on the walkie-talkie, right? He's fuming. He's actually fuming. Phil even looks pissed off. Phil's like, I don't like this. I don't want to be here. Please get me out.
Everyone says Christina and Nevis is all 4 back. If it's all 4 back here, I tell you what, Ipswich fans are going to be absolutely.
No, it is all 4 back. It is all 4 back confirmed.
Oh my god.
I don't get it.
This is the problem, and I haven't been on Twitter tonight, but I think Speedway Shambles are going to be grabbing hold of it because this is the problem: is consistency, and I think it's the same wrong. It's the same with all sports and people hate.
Kvek doesn't touch Frick. Kvek doesn't touch Frick.
No, and Frick's already lifting and out of control by the time he reaches forward.
How is that first Ben bunching?
That's Frick, isn't it? I tell you what.
But it's referee consistency. It's the same with if you're making that decision for ROWE in
I want to hear from Hawkins because he didn't hold back on the last decision. let alone this one.
I
People
reckon we
in
might
the
be getting
comments,
that.
what do you think? Should have been Frick exclusion, or was it all four back? What do you think? Stick it in the comments. Becca says, "Can we exclude the ref?"
I mean, look, Christina Turnbull.
Christine Turnbull.
Okay.
Sorry, Sam. It seems like you want to put a comment in then.
No, I'm. I've been to a few.
I love Christina Turnbull.
Controversy
Fans will hate me, but Christina Turnbull. Oh my God, Hawkins is absolutely fucking furious.
Hawkins is ready to spark somebody out.
Mate,
you know?
I reckon that he could throw hands. He is furious, Calvin Taylor. He is absolutely furious, and I don't blame him because that's.
I think if the Keenan Roo thing doesn't happen, you know, I don't think he'd be
Harry,
as
you don't
annoyed.
need to say hi every 10 seconds, bro. We'll put your comments up for something different. It's cool, man.
We love you, Harry, mate. Frick didn't turn in sync. I think this is the thing. Is like Sam said, it's good to have him here tonight. But referee consistency, I think, in a playoff situation, you don't want to see inconsistent refereeing as well.
But especially when all these incidents have been Ben one or mid corner, it's a wet track. These bikes are hard to control on the best of days, you know. But okay, fair enough, all four back in this one. But if you're making that decision, you've got to make that same decision earlier on in the meeting as well. I don't think you should be excluding anyone in those sort of situations.
Yeah, exactly. We're about to get going again. Heat number 13. Obviously, your lineup: Kvek, Frick, Ellis, and Becker. If there's
any justice in the world now, Ipswich have to come out on top. This heat, they got to.
Yeah, I want to. If that does happen, I want to see Richie Hawkins cut to him immediately. Do you know what I mean? That's what I want. Cut to Richie straight away. I tell you what, Kvek's made it, and Ellis has made it as well. Frick's on the inside line, though. Is he going to get the line? He's going to get the line on Kvek. Kvek's in third, and Becker's on the inside.
He's in! Becker's out.
Becker's out. Becker's out. Do not put the red lights are on straight away. If Becker's not gone here, there will be riots.
Becker has to go there. Becker has to go there. And when I say Becker, I don't mean this Becker. I mean Luke Becker.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's a shame. As a rider, it's one of those you kind of have to go for it.
If Kvek goes now, there will Richie Hawkins is about to pop a. He's about to pop a blood vessel.
I sort of want Becker not to go here just to see Richie Hawkins have an absolute breakdown.
I reckon Phil Morris might get sparked out.
Absolutely. Fuck. Can you imagine Hawkins booting his way through the pits if he doesn't? One second. Honestly, says Richie go into Street Fighter mode. Well,
guys.
Frick's clean there. On a 14 Ipswich.
Yeah, but he's got to go.
Oh, mate. If Becker doesn't go here, I'll tell you something.
Well, he takes his leg, boy. Like, why is there such a weird camera flash that he's got? Becker's got to go.
Oh, I'm not being a prick here, but did he lift in white?
No.
Oh no.
I think it's one of those. Becker's unlucky. Because he's
Tom. Why would Becker be excluded? That would be the right decision. Becker is excluded. So
yeah, it's the right decision. But from Becker's unfortunate because at the end of the day he's carrying more speed. Kvek's off the throttle mid straight because of the moves Frick's made. So Becker's seen an opportunity now on a normal race day or normal track. Sorry. Kvek wouldn't be tucking in that tight probably if there's on a Leicester track. So,
out of curiosity, do you think Jan Kvek has spent more time laying on the shale or more time riding the bike tonight?
I'll tell you what.
Has Jan Kvek spent more time on his ass or more time on the bike? And I'm not joking. I'm being genuinely serious. Has he spent more time racing the bike, remember it's only a minute a race, or more time laying on the floor? Put your comments in the comment section. Becca, not Luke Becca, my ad, says, "Yay! Finally, a correct decision." I'm guessing the brown paper envelopes for Leicester have started to run a bit thin. That's a joke, by the way. Speedway. It's a fucking joke.
That'll be clipped.
Seriously, there's not brown paper envelopes. Tom's put a party, and Kaylee says definitely more time on the arse.
I mean, here's the thing: you can't say Quebec's not put the effort in today because he's got on the deck at least 3 times.
At least 4, isn't it?
It might be.
It's 4, mate.
I think if I really like Jan, I think he's a lovely lad. But if Ipswich do throw this away, the points he scored tonight are quite big. You know, at number 1, you should be 8, 9, 10 points. I think,
especially with the right replacement for Dougie has scored.
Yeah.
Someone said 7, I think, out of 9.
Yeah.
So if you look at that perspective, it's.
But then again, you look at it and who would you put in as an alternative guest? You know, you look at the teams you've not got in. So you got Birmingham, Oxford, and Kings Lynn, but you're not going to get Freddie from Birmingham. Let's be honest.
He's been banned.
You're not going to get who's Oxford's number 1?
Magic.
Yeah, but you're not going to get this. The thing when you've got riders like Lindgren, Janowski, you know they've got extra league playoffs to focus on. You know, but the thing I can
or Tungate,
but
would you have Tungate or GP Starkovec for the commercial?
Yes, but that's what I mean. As a comparative guest at number 1.
We are Chris Lee. What's Chris Lee got to say?
So he's like, if I speak, I'm in big trouble.
Chris Louis knows there's a job on the line, so he's got to be very careful. Good comments from Chris Louis, I think, there. Chris Louis basically said that, you know, decisions do go against Speedway teams and we won't roll over, we'll just keep fighting, which I think is the right thing to say, especially if you work for the company which is making the decision. So, yes, Honda Civic says that he's crashed more times tonight than the entire GP season. Probably twice as much, maybe.
I don't think he's had a crash in the GPs this year, is he?
Kaylee says, if the pit's camera is good at his job, he'll be following Richie. Maybe we need the booth cams for each pit lane, like at the Grand Prix.
Tell you what,
to be fair, you'd only need one at Leicester. The pits are so small.
Well, the thing is, you'd be following where Richie is, wouldn't you? If you're on the metaverse, you'd be sitting across. Where's Richie? So big up Richie Hawkins, by the way, top fella.
To be fair, Richie Hawkins is probably my favourite of the managers in terms of personality, because I think a lot of them are really, and for the right reasons, a lot of them are very what's the word? Proper, and they talk like a manager. Richie talks like he's one of the boys, you know. Like you can tell he's definitely in charge, but you can tell.
I think it's a controversial topic, but I think Brady was always like that when he was at Kings. Then he was a down to earth fella as well.
Yeah.
Hope to see him back in a managerial position soon, hopefully. But 1 minute to go for the rerun. Ipswich have got
13. 1 and 3. 1 and 3. You got to look at it. Yeah, I just got to do what he did last time. Make a start. Hope Ellis can try and get a goal, but it's Max Frick. That's the thing.
Frick can be unbeatable at Leicester.
That's what I'm saying. He's already got 8 points for 4 rides. It's not going to be easy to beat here. This is going to be a tough race.
I put a poll out earlier about how many points will Frick get tonight. Bear in mind, he'll probably get 6 rides with the rider replacement. We'll have a little look at what the score is so far.
I believe somebody said that Dougie got 7 from rider replacement. I saw in the chat.
Yeah, for Dougie, but Frick, how many points will Frick score individually?
8. He's got 8. So he's got 8.
Yeah, but he'll still have 13, 15.
He won the rider replacement ride.
He won with the rider replacement ride?
He won with the rider replacement, yeah.
Right.
Tapes are up. I tell you what, Quebec's missed it, and Frick is in the lead. But, unless Quebec, now Frick's going to win it.
No, it's going to be a 3-0 here. It is quite gate and go.
Especially if
as a neutral, as a TV point of view, This is pretty good.
This is going to be very interesting. Tell you what, you could cut the tension with a knife, people. It is that level of value. But no, Max Frick's away here. Tell you what, Brennan and Bowden in the next one have got to capitalise.
Yeah, that's where you got to break it. Is basically in that heat 14.
Because you feel like Max Frick's going to win no matter what. Realistically, the one person that can beat Max Frick tonight for Ipswich, probably Tom Brennan.
Yeah, more than likely. But again, it comes down to the gate, doesn't it?
Yeah, but Max Frick takes a checkered flag.
I think the gate is so important here. It's almost unfathomable.
Yeah.
But yeah, 84-84 and 43-35. It can't get any closer, Sam. Over 2 legs.
It's...
Let's say David Ipswich this track? Or... I know they haven't had the right decisions go their way.
I think if you look at like the ROWE Brennan decision earlier on, does that swing it a different way, or it's one of those? Speedway's always ifs, buts, and maybes, isn't it? But
it's like boxing when you have you read out a card and it's how the scoring is sometimes can be fucking vile. Kaylee's actually said, "Where's Dor out of the recovery? Have you heard anything about Dor's recovery?"
No, so it's more the fact of, I mean, the rotator cuff that he's done, it's an injury that you wouldn't wish on anyone. It's almost a part of the body that no one knows what it does or where it is until you injure it.
Well, I do, because I've done it.
Yeah, well, yes.
I dislocated my shoulder, broke my humerus, and tore my rotator cuff at the beginning of January. I was sleeping in Riga. I listened to my pillow, and my shoulder tried to pop out, and my rotator cuff tried to tear, and that was nearly 8 months ago. Oh. So I know as someone who's not running a bike, is that a shoulder is fucking horrendous. I mean, I had to have my wife wipe my ass and things like that. Like, it was that bad.
Wow.
Yes, exclusive for the chat. My wife loves me that much. She actually wiped my bum.
But this the thing is, Speedway bikes as well, the power they've got, they're designed to, well, they are ripping your arms out. It's a workout holding onto it for a minute. So
Nathan Ablett said to me that running a Speedway bike in a tough corner is like being mid pull-up. Yeah. And then he said your maximum thing, and you let it go through the corner, it's like doing a pull-up for a tough corner. And in Heat 14 is Louis Kerr, Tom Brennan, Luke Becker, and Dan Thompson. Can the deadlock be broken, Sam? What do you reckon?
I mean, Max has just shown you can make a gate off 2. I mean, those ruts look horrible. I mean, gate 1 looks really deep.
They don't even look as if you went into a rut, it would hold you. It looks like they would just collapse, doesn't it? Like where they're so sloppy.
I think the problem is how deep they are. Is it a case of you're bottoming out, or you're getting spin? Are they not dense?
Well, if you're starting the bike in, it must be sketchy. But here we go.
Dan Thompson's made a great one off 4.
What do we say? He's a gator. Oh, he's gone very wide, though. Oh, but Dan Thompson on the outside.
That's Brennan, I think, mate. Brennan!
Oh, my God. Brennan's just gone right around him.
What's he just... That's incredible. I'll tell you what, a 3-all here. This
is here.
Oh. Yeah, it's a shame for Dan Thompson. Becker shielding Louis Kerr, you feel, as well. But Dan Thompson's going to give it everything. We've seen that all night. But Tom Brennan... I think Sam's right. It might come down to gate choice now. Who gets what gate? But completely Brennan, right. It's got to be Brennan Heat 15. Would you say Brennan and Ellis for the Ipswich Witches? I think it's very nailed on. Max Frick, Richard Lawson for the Lions.
I mean, what? That's a great ride from Tom. I mean, I don't know where Tom's found that from, but.
Oh no, they're back! Oh my God, Dan Thompson here for the fence.
You can't say he's not tried. You can't say he's not giving it a go.
He finished though. Wasn't a DNF. Chat, well, the views at the moment are peaking. Get your thoughts in the chat. We've got 1, maybe 2 races to go. Doesn't come down to superheat. Everyone in the chat, get in now. Where's it going to go? Because everyone who is guessing is probably wrong now. The heat result for heat number 14 is Tom Brennan, Louis Kerr, Luke Becker, and Dan Thompson for another 3-all, which takes to 87-87 in aggregate. and 46-38 to the Lions at home. I thought the Lions would take this, Sam.
I was going to say my prediction beforehand was 47-43 to Leicester.
Really?
I thought Ipswich would have just because of conditions. I think if it's a normal Leicester track, Leicester win this by 12, 14, 16 points. But I think track conditions have really made it kind of equal ground. I think, anyone's made a gate and a lot of people have scored points. But it's Speedway. It comes down to one heat and it's the last heat. There's going to be two key factors. It's one, which riders do you go, and two, which gates have you been left with? I think it's one of those. I think.
Do you want the gate advantage in Heat 15, or do you want the gate advantage? What happens with the super heat? Do you have to flip the coin again?
I'm not sure because I've not actually witnessed the meeting with a superheat. I've not watched one on telly or
I wouldn't write it off, my mate.
It's a tough one, I think, but I think for Ipswich, it's who do you put with Tom? I think Tom's a given that he's going out, but no one else has scored points.
He's on max.
I mean, Adam looked really strong in that heat that he won, and he disappeared by a straight, but hasn't been fully consistent. And I think Leicester as well is okay. Max is, throw him in, but who do you put with him? Because Richard started well, Richard rides well, but he dropped off back end of this meeting.
That's
Sam Masters,
that's the thing with Leicester. You'd like to say that probably Becker, Lawson, Masters, the three of them are properly all level pegging on averages and on the night. So, chat again, we are peaking now. I don't know why people are bursting into the stream now with two races one race to go, potentially two races to go. But comments, what are you thinking? Stick it down in the comment section. Any questions put in the comment section? Anything you're thinking, just stick it in the comment section. We're going for a few more here now that are on. The Fruit Pastel says, "Who would you pick for Heat 15 with Tom?"
Go on. If you were team manager,
it's probably Ellis, isn't it?
I'd have to agree. I think.
Quebec has looked good at times, but he's been on the ground so many times.
Well, that's the thing is, it's how many. But
unless you put Quebec on the easy gate and shove Tom and go, "Fuck it, you've got to do it off the shit gate." But would you put Tom off the good gate and put Quebec off the shit one, thinking he might crash?
But that's the thing as a team manager. I think
this is Speedway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Someone said, like last SGP, our Mickelson was excluded. What's your views on scenario? We've gone over this actually, Kaylee. We said that I thought it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I think Mickelson's probably going down. I think it was made worse by Zmarzlik. I don't think Zmarzlik took him out by any means. It could have gone either way, and it's one of the things Speedway. I wouldn't like to be a referee, so
very fair.
Have I missed anything, or?
Last one, Tom says, Gate 4 in the last 4 heats.
It's just getting across. That's the thing. Is you've got to get across and you've got to hold it. I think again, it's the confidence thing. Like Tom is clearly shown. I think not just tonight, but all year, he's got the confidence to get there, be competitive, and hold it there. And that's what he did in that heat. I think. So
if Ipswich have 2 and 4 in the final, would you be tempted to put Quebec off 2, which he's been good off the inside, and Tom off 4?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah,
I agree as well. Kingdom, have you got a different opinion?
No, I think what you're saying is making sense. Matthew Sam's.
It's 3 guests. I mean, if you're looking for riders for next year, you might want to put Ellis in to one of them, or something like that.
Yeah, but like, do you go for that when it's a playoff semi-final? You don't.
Absolutely not.
You don't think about next year. You think about now. And to be fair, I think Sammy had a good point. Is like Quebec, although he's been on his arse, actually looked really quick when he's on the bike. Do you put him in there and just go, for the love of God, hope he does something? Ellis looks solid. I think Brandon and Frick are the only 2 givens in this. Yeah,
100%. They're the only 2 givens. But
who's going to get the watch?
Yeah, it's a shame that the injuries that have happened to the Ipswich team of Doyley and Emmett have kind of happened to those 2, because I think Ipswich,
Yeah.
For the team that they've built, you look at their consistency as well. They're not chopping and changing team here, there, and everywhere. And riders like Emil and Doyley are going to make meetings like this exciting. But I think, obviously, I personally think Ipswich would have run away with it with the two of them. But the thing I completely disagree with, and I'm not going to mince my words here, is how riders can kind of make a mockery of this sport, or British Speedway, for example, when they can go and ride in a Extraliga semi-final and ride the bike the best they've ever ridden it, and have videos of them plastered all over social media, to then turn around and say, "Oh, actually, no, that's all I can do this week. I'm not riding in Britain." I'm sorry. You might have a different opinion, Kingdom, but I don't. I completely disagree with that decision. I love Emil. I think he's an amazing rider. I think he deserves a Grand Prix spot, or deserves to be back in the Grand Prix. But the decision made, and the fact that they're going to get away with whatever's happened, I think is a bit of a disgrace. Of go and ride for Torren and have fun and take Torren to potentially a grand final, but then to not turn up for your British League meeting when you can clearly see he's fit and able to ride. I think it's a bit shocking.
My only thing is that with Emil this past week, his ass was off the seat. Like, you can't sit down on a fucking bike.
I think Ellis is off 3, but boys, by the way.
Ellis off 3, I think that's the smart option. You put Brennan on 1, try and get the dub. Ellis off 3 can do something with whoever's off 4, because you're surely going to put Frick off 2, which I'm sure Dicko will confirm for us. 1 and 3 for Ipswich could be key.
The big thing is, does that Heat 15 on Monday night change this? Like that result in Heat 15 has had a big swing here, isn't it?
100%. 100%. I think with the Savinoff thing, obviously, look, I think the one thing that annoys me, which you really put on, was when riders don't promote the British League enough. Well, obviously, maybe they're under contract in Poland, so like post on their socials, and no, not so here. But like, you see riders post like their extra results all the time. It's like, post the British stuff. Like they always complain, British Speedway is not. They always complain that British Speedway is not shown enough, but like, they could also boost it. That's kind of my controversial take. Is that you talk about how it's not big enough, but if you just put an Instagram post out, some riders do it, some don't, but 10 points today for the Sheffield Tigers or whatever, that would boost.
I completely agree with you that the riders are going to be the best form of advertising, and I think I certainly try my best with it. I mean, obviously doing the media for GB, trying to encourage riders to push it is the massive thing. But at the end of the day, they want to push things that look attractive as well. And I think a lot of the time, the stuff they're either supplied or can use from British Speedway just isn't up to things you want to push.
But the graphics and stuff. Because I know there's a guy, I forgot his name, and if he is watching, which is unlikely, I met him at Leicester, and he does the Cook Brothers and things like that, where they have the proper graphics and stuff. Mm-hmm. And he does that, and it's really good. But anyway, we got Tom Brennan, Max Frick, Adam Ellis, and Sam Masters. That is a hell of a lineup.
Where's the battle here? Do you reckon it's Brennan trying
to
get
way,
one? Or
if Tom Brennan scores a maximum, him and Kristen are allowed a McDonald's or a Domino's on the way home. So I can tell you now that if Kristen's watching from the stands,
who made that decision?
I think Tom made it. So if Tom's hungry, he'll fucking go for it here. Put it that way.
Is it just for them, or is Carl included as well?
I guess Carl's probably included as well. I guess he's probably included as well.
For a second, I thought Sam was talking about you. I was like, why would you be getting the McDonald's or Domino's?
Mate, I'm happy to go for a Domino's with Tom, Kristen, and Carl anytime.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, as a TV perspective, this can't be any better. 87-87, 46-38.
This is prime Barclays. This is like proper.
Start Marshall was egging Brennan.
I'm interested to see how left Brennan is on gate 1. Doesn't look like the place to be at all.
Yeah.
His actually front wheel was over the line.
Tell you what, though, Frick's made a good jump, and so has Masters.
Oh no!
This could be heartbreak for the Witches.
It could be.
Ellis is going to give it everything.
Could be heartbreak for the Dominoes as well.
Oh my God! I reckon it's looking good for the Leicester Lions here, people. Heartbreak for the Ipswich Witches right at the death. I mean, something dramatic's going to have to happen here now, and it's not looking likely. The track's a bit smoother. Masters and Frick are going to do it. That's, fair play. That Heat 15, like Sam said minutes ago,
On
from the
Monday.
other tie, has been costly.
Same thing. Exactly the same thing.
You can't write it.
They've never got through to a final, have they?
Who? Leicester Lions?
Nope.
Well, but I'll be planning my journey because I'm going to both grand finals. So,
Well, I was supposed to be going to both grand finals. I was supposed to be DJing at both this year. However, the grand final on the Thursday, I have to be in Torrin for the rehearsal. So the second day of the grand final, I won't be around for. But I might very well be DJing the first leg.
Tell you what, the crowd, but this is a great sight because you don't really always hear too much, but the crowd, it's limbs. The crowd loving it.
The crowd is limbs.
I feel Richie Hawkins though would feel
Richie Hawkins is about to scrap people.
Becca said rather to Leicester and Sheffield. I agree, probably. And Kaylee says a crying, laughing face. But the Leicester Lions, for the first time ever, are through to a Premiership.
They've got confetti. He's got some with a gun off the camera.
Can you imagine if they didn't get through to the final and that confetti gun, they just put it in the storage room because they wouldn't do it for Ipswich, would they?
They've got a bloke. I've got to call Keith. Doesn't look like a Keith, but Keith there with the confetti gun.
Result is Sam Masters, Max Frick, Adam Ellis, Tom Brennan. So that's the dominoes out the window for Tom Brennan. It's also the playoffs out the window for Ipswich. And I'll tell you something. There's going to be some bitter fans with the referee tonight and the track.
Massively.
Yeah.
But I think it's not just that. I think it's like I mentioned before, Heat 15, the Emil situation. I don't think these results happen Monday and tonight if Emil rides.
Or Doyley. Or with both. You think Leicester would have their work out, wouldn't you?
But the fact that Emil's back on a bike, he's at, and it's not like he's back on a bike and taking it slowly. Like you look at the videos that are circulating on social media of him.
But the reason wasn't because of the hole in his arse. The reasons that he couldn't make it apparently because he was dehydrated.
Yeah, that's.
You say then drink some fucking water then.
but that's what I mean. This is when a mockery of the sport or British Speedway riders felt they can do this.
It is. Free Pascal says, great show and chat, guys. Free Pascal, thanks for joining us. Again, we're not TV presenters. We're just three guys who just talk Speedway.
Brennan looks gutted. Brennan looks gutted.
That looks like there's tears from before his eyes there.
That is.
That's the first time I've seen Brennan without a smile on his face.
That is
heartbreaking.
He just. I tell you what, the tears might be right.
I think it might be.
The body language is all off for Brennan there. You can tell he's not happy. Can I just say as well, thank you so much for the chat tonight because I've not been pulling my weight as much as normal. So thank you very much, and thanks cheers for Sam for popping on as well.
I've had Sam in here, it's been great to have Sam in here.
That's right. I've had a great time. I've loved it.
Mate, well, I think we're probably going to have to chat once we go off stream because it's been great to have you and to have extra people on here. At least it lets me go for a piss and you two can talk, or Alex can have a moment and we can talk. It's been great. So that's good. Which day will you find me held at Leicester? I don't know if that's been confirmed yet.
I don't think it's confirmed until after next Thursday.
I definitely haven't seen any dates.
That makes two of us.
I mentioned Torren and it fucking me up. So who knows? I guess the idea would be Monday and Thursday next week.
I think Katie's next comment sort of puts a
So,
date
sorry,
in
the week
line.
after the playoffs between Birmingham, Bellevue and
Bellevue
Sheffield. I think that would be the idea. Hopefully, there's a shitter on the Thursday and it gets rained off because I'll be in Torren and I can't DJ, and I've been asked to DJ the 2 legs of the final. So,
There you go.
Just quickly going into next week, Bellevue, Sheffield, thoughts?
I've got to say Sheffield.
Depends who Sheffield get. As a guess,
Who Sheffield got to get guessed for?
Tie.
Woofy.
Oh,
But
I mean-
do they guest or do they RR?
I mean, the thing is, if they are, Jack Holder can take one. Chris Holder can take one.
Picco.
Picco can take one. And who's that other main body rider?
Howarth.
Howarth.
I'll tell you what, you probably RR, wouldn't you?
Personally, I would RR. Yeah.
So
but I've always said that I think an RR is naturally stronger than a guest anyway, personally.
Yeah, I think especially if you've got the 2 holders, Picco and Howarth, who on their day can all win against anyone.
But is Jack Holder in a slump?
I want to say no, because when he was racing his Emil a couple of weeks ago, he was fucking fire, mate. He was brilliant. I think in the Grand Prix he's in the slump, but in the British League, I think he's really good. Yeah, I don't think so. I think if Jack Holder wasn't in it, you're probably looking for a guest. But if you do have Jack Holder above the average of Woofy, I think you probably take that.
Yeah. Is it Bellevue Monday?
It is Bellevue Monday, yep.
Yes. Becca says Bellevue, please to go through. I'm guessing there's some sort of hatred between Ipswich and Sheffield. The teams are collude by the season. Yeah, maybe. I agree. Or get Brennan. Brennan can't.
You can't. He's not allowed to now.
No, because he's already featured for
He's
Ipswich.
already ridden for one team in the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. What a show, guys! Thank you so much to the chat. They've been fucking.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining us. I mean, it's been good numbers tonight as well. And thanks to Sam for joining us, who will stay on here for a second because we'll chat to him after we go off. But everyone, thanks for joining us. Again, it's nothing special. It's just a place where everyone can chat. It's more of a chat room where we relay your stuff and go for it. Sam's obviously big in the media for GB. Kingdo does all the video editing for the Speedway Grand Prix, and obviously I'm just a DJ who just knows about music, and I'm shit at that.
I wouldn't say just a DJ, mate. You played fucking Tetris at the weekend. That's giving you some style. That's giving you some style points, in my opinion.
Potentially. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to sign off now, and we'll be back for the finals, I guess. I'll probably be in Torren, so I'll do rehearsals and join a bit later, but we'll do Monday and Thursday, and we'll go from there. But anyway, from us three, I don't know if Sam knows the out procedure.
I'll leave it to you.
I'll do it. Kingdo, are you going to end the stream?
I've got my finger hovering over the button.
Perfectly. Well, that's great. Everyone, take it easy, and I'll see you guys
in the next one.